Welcome to Chinese Novel Audiobook. Chapter 61 Tang Qian. No matter how much I lose, Wang Xiu can't make any money. Ding. Congratulations, you have received a return of the benefits of your training from Zhang Mu. Mana +10, Xuanzhen experience +100. Congratulations, you have received a return of Zhou Yu's training effect. Mana +10, Jade Girl Kung Fu experience +100. Congratulations, you have received the return of the training effect from Yin-Yang Taoist. Mana +20, Joyful Skills experience +200, and S*X skills experience +100. Closing square bracket. Opening square bracket closing square bracket. Quote. Wang Xiu looked at the prompts that kept floating up in the system interface. Why did he feel like there was something strange sneaking in? These days, he could clearly feel that the amount of rebate he received for each cultivation was becoming larger and larger. This shows that the cultivators he invested in have greatly improved their cultivation in a short period of time, and that the improvement was in batches. It is basically certain. These people are all monks who have obtained opportunities in the Flood Dragon tomb. Wang Xiu was certain of this. This direction is feasible. In the future, pay more attention to the information about the secret realm and the ruins. If someone is willing to make a move, we can directly purchase the information in this regard. Okay, young master. Ni Tingting changed into an extremely slim-fitting black long skirt today, which not only made her already tall and straight features appear even taller, but also made her buttocks, which were directly hidden under the wide robe, appear surprisingly firm and round. Wang Xiu looked at her and couldn't help but sigh. Ting, you have changed. Ni Tingting was confused. Me? What changed? You've never worn this kind of clothes before. Do you know that it's easy to distract me and make me forget what I just said? Then, I won't wear it anymore. No, what I mean is that if you wear this every day, I'll get used to it after seeing it so many times. Do you understand? Quote. Okay, young master. Seeing Wang Xiu talking nonsense in a serious tone, Ni Tingting couldn't help but smile secretly with her hands covering her mouth. With the intention of doing something bad, she puffed out her chest even more. To be honest, before, she would never have dressed like this in front of Wang Xiu. Because he had a very bad reputation in the past. It can be said to be the scourge of women in the world. But now, as she had more and more contact with Wang Xiu, she felt more and more deeply that what she had heard in the past were all rumors. Or perhaps it is a way for the young master to hide his edge. During the time she had been with Wang Xiu, she had watched him time and again, easily and inexplicably defeat the three major chambers of commerce. Every decision seems absurd, but when you reflect on it afterwards, you will understand that it has its own deep meaning. Such a young master. It's a bit too shiny. By the way, where was I just now? Wang Xiu asked. The news about the acquisition of Secret Realm. Ni Tingting smiled and reminded. Oh, yes, we can buy it if the price is right. As for the price, it depends on the level of the Secret Realm. Young master, do you want to send people into the Secret Realm to search for treasure? No. Wang Xiu shook his head and said, for all the ruins and Secret Realm, if you can find out the details, I will give you maps and guides. If not, I will set up a rescue point at the door. Provide medicine and supplies to all monks who leave the Secret Realm. Ni Tingting's beautiful eyes sparkled. Is it the same as the one in the Flood Dragon's tomb? Wang Xiu nodded. Ni Tingting looked at Wang Mu's profile and couldn't help but say, young master is such a good man. If we look at the previous actions, there is some meaning of spending money to attract attention. But now, both the Langya Chamber of Commerce and the Foundation have already established their reputations. Even if there is still room for improvement in their reputations, it will not bring more benefits to the Langya Chamber of Commerce. However, Wang Xiu insisted on doing this business which was doomed to lose money. Except for kindness, she couldn't think of any other reason. Wang Xiu smiled and didn't explain. How could Ni Tingting know that Wang Xiu valued the potential of those monks who could survive in danger and constantly break through their own limits? For Wang Xiu, every such cultivator represents a very good investment value. In other words, it can also be considered a kind of screening. Allow Wang Xiu to invest more accurately. After all, in this immortal cultivation world, unless one has a powerful force like Wang Xiu to back him up, if low-level cultivators don't even dare to explore the Secret Realm and ruins, most of their achievements are doomed to be limited and they won't have much of a future. After the news was released, it soon caused an uproar. At the same time, Yunlai Chamber of Commerce. Tang Qian also received the news and frowned. Then why is the young master of the Wang family collecting information about the secret realm and the ruins? Go Anshi was very puzzled. With his identity and status, he has no shortage of resources. The ordinary secret realm is not worthy of attention at all. Lu Yanshuang was also confused. It can't be that you are just too idle, right? Tang Qian raised his head and glanced at Lu Yanshuang. Don't you think that his actions this time are very similar to the previous 2 times? Lu Yanshuang. Tang Qian said. Before, he used the guise of a playboy to play the pig and eat the tiger. It seemed to be a foolish act of simply showing off his wealth and spending money, but it made us lose a lot of business in Beihai. Right now, it's clear that he wants to use the same old trick again. Go Anshi. Master Tang, do you mean that he has other plans? Tang Qian said firmly. That's right. Go Anshi. What's the plan? Tang Qian was silent for a while, and then said, although I cannot confirm it for the time being, I can be sure that there must be something he wants in the secret realm and ruins that are about to be unveiled, otherwise it would never be like this. Go Anshi nodded thoughtfully. What about us? Tang Qian took a deep breath, his eyes darkened. No matter what he wants, we have only one goal. That is, to make him fail. If he can acquire secret realm information, so can we. And the price you offer can be higher than his. I just don't believe that he can succeed this time. In just 2 days, the Langya Chamber of Commerce received a large amount of intelligence and information. It's just that the true and the false are mixed together and it's difficult to distinguish. And most of them are just a few words, like smoke without fire, and fake at first glance. This is normal. After all, whose immortal cultivation world has secret realms and ruins everywhere? But if the quantity is large, we can still produce a few genuine products. Wang Xiu informed Ni Tingting to first organize a group of practitioners with extremely high realms and experience to analyze the information obtained. Filter out most of the useless ones. Identify the most credible intelligence. Then let Li Yuanhua and others lead people there to find out the truth one by one. Although this is more accurate. But in comparison, the efficiency will be much lower. On the other hand, the other 3 chambers of commerce offered very high bids. The Langya Chamber of Commerce received a message with a certain degree of accuracy and gave 1,000 spirit stones. But the 3 major chambers of commerce gave 5,000. And no matter the accuracy, just take it. But one thing is that a contract must be signed. Once you sell to them, you can no longer sell to the Langya Chamber of Commerce. For a while, all the practitioners in the entire North Sea went crazy. Chapter 62, The Gap in Pattern. Secret Realm News revealed. The offer made by the 3 major chambers of commerce was indeed generous. Countless monks sold them the information they knew about the secret realm and the ruins. Exchange for spirit stone. Even if the accuracy is not high, at least you can get 5,000 spirit stones. If there is some evidence to support it and it is credible, one can get tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands. For a while, the branches of Penglai, Sihai and Yungang Chamber of Commerce are crowded with people. I have to say, with the huge investment, the 3 major chambers of commerce did gain a lot. After all, the North Sea is vast, and it is not difficult to find small ruins and secret realms, not to mention other high-level ruins. Juling Island, 800 miles to the west. On an island deep in the mountains. Suddenly, a rosy glow rose into the sky, a spiritual light filled the air, and a dazzling aura enveloped the entire forest. For a while, the monks on the surrounding islands soared into the sky and gathered there. Could it be that some natural treasure has appeared? From the look of this aura, it would take at least the appearance of the supreme grade law treasure to cause this kind of movement, right? It may not be the law treasure, but it looks more like a grotto heaven. Many independent cultivators rushed to the island with excitement. But I found that this place had already been occupied by someone. This place has been owned by our 3 major chambers of commerce. All outsiders, please leave. A middle-aged figure in blue stood on the air, with his hands behind his back blocking everyone's way, and said expressionlessly. Why? An independent cultivator complained. Since ancient times, natural resources and treasures have been reserved for those who are destined to possess them. You are just committing robbery. Hearing this, the middle-aged man glanced at him indifferently, with a scornful smile on his lips, naive. After saying this, he waved his sleeves lightly. A beam of light broke through the air and accurately hit the independent cultivator who was speaking. Ah! With a scream, the independent cultivator's body collapsed, and the primordial spirit was extinguished. It fell straight down and sank to the bottom of the sea. There was complete silence. The friend of independent cultivator showed grief and indignation on his face, but dared not say a word. He could only grit his teeth and retreat with clenched fists, angry but not able to speak. Well, these three chambers of commerce are too overbearing. What can we do? This is the world of cultivation, the strong prey on the weak. It has been like this since ancient times. I just don't understand. What kind of treasures do the three major chambers of commerce have? Why do they have to compete with us independent cultivators for opportunities? Who knows? Let's not talk about whether they have any plans. Even if they don't, they are just bored and don't want us to have the chance. What can we do? Quote, quote, Similar scenario happened several times in succession. The three major chambers of commerce acquired a large amount of information about treasures, secret realms and other opportunities. Once confirmed, strong men will be sent there to garrison in advance. When the time comes, they will take away everything they can, leaving nothing behind. At the same time, people were sent to guard against anyone approaching. Only disciples from large sects who have close ties with the three major chambers of commerce are allowed to enter and hunt for treasure together. Many times, the monks' dissatisfaction grew day by day. But to the three major chambers of commerce, their anger was as harmless as children playing house. Young master, these three major chambers of commerce have come in and are plundering the secret realm and ruins everywhere. The information we can receive now is getting less and less. Langya Foundation headquarters. Little girl is sitting under a tree reading a book. Wang Xiu leaned back in his chair, basking in the sun, tapping his fingers on the armrests, very calmly. Well, I understand. Ni Tingting asked, should we also increase the price appropriately and relax the accuracy requirements? Wang Xiu looked at her in confusion. Why spend that money? Do you have money to burn? The accuracy of the information can't even be guaranteed. What's the point of buying it? Isn't that really a wrongdoing? Quote, But will this affect your plan? Yes, a little, but not a big impact. Wang Yu stretched out his body comfortably and said slowly, by the way, have Mr. Li and the others sent back any news? Ni Tingting nodded and said, I just received news that among the 13 intelligence locations after multiple screenings, 3 can be confirmed to exist, and 2 of them, if nothing unexpected happens, will appear in the world in the near future. How long is the near future? It can be as short as 3 to 5 months, or as long as a year or 2. It's been too long. Is there a way to make them appear earlier? Let me ask. Ni Tingting walked aside, took out a communication token and contacted Li Yuanhua. Wang Yu watched this scene. I thought about the order I had entrusted to Weapon Refining Pavilion. Calculating the time, the first batch of deliveries will be delivered in 3 days. Actually, during this period of time, the Foundation's funds are becoming increasingly tight, but fortunately the Chamber of Commerce is making a lot of money now, and can hold on for a while maintaining a certain fiscal deficit. But over time, all resources will inevitably be exhausted. The same thing, word of mouth can indeed bring profit growth. However, the profit increase brought by word of mouth alone is ultimately limited. If you want to expand your profits, you need to use more practical methods to stimulate consumption and seize the market. After a while, Ni Tingting came back and said, Senior Li said it's very simple. Wang Yu nodded. Then let them appear in advance. At the same time, arrange for the Foundation and the Chamber of Commerce to release this information in advance. The more people know about it, the better. Yes. Ni Tingting had a complicated expression and was somewhat confused about Wang Emu's actions. Money was spent to buy news and intelligence. And he took great pains to make those secret realms appear in advance. Even if it is not as excessive as the 3 major chambers of commerce, they still monopolize everything. There's no need to make the news public and let everyone know, right? What does this mean? Somewhere in a market. A group of monks gathered together, whispering to each other. Have you heard? 300 miles west of Mingyu Island, a gold core ruin will be unearthed in 3 days. Really? Is the news reliable? I'm not sure, but the news came from the Langya Chamber of Commerce, so it shouldn't be false, right? It always feels strange. Normal people would want to keep this secret as possible if they knew about it. How could someone make it public? Brother Lu suspects there is a fraud. We have to be on guard. Brother Lu is absolutely right. If this news were released by other forces, there might be some conspiracy behind it. But Langya, I think I can trust him. Yes, the reputation of the Langya Chamber of Commerce is very good, and the foundation has saved countless lives. A mere gold court period relic should not ruin the reputation that we have worked so hard to build. In a certain city, in a restaurant. Another relic is about to be revealed. What's going on recently? This thing that might not have happened once in the past few years has happened so many times in this period of time. I heard that the 4 major chambers of commerce are looking for something and are frantically buying up information about the secret realm. They are not even sparing the graves left by the monks of the foundation building stage. Tisk tisk. So what if we get the news? Do we, the little independent cultivators, have a share? Won't we be driven back if we go? Don't say it, don't say it. This time it's different. The news came from the Langya Chamber of Commerce. Their style is much better than the 3 major chambers of commerce. It is said that they agree that all cultivators can participate. Even if you can get out of the secret realm, you will be given medicine and supplies. Hiss, are you serious? For a while, countless monks were excited again. Chapter 63 King the greatest good man in the Northern Territory Mu. What did you say? Tang Qian raised his eyebrows and stared at Go Anshi, somewhat unable to believe his ears. Go Anshi sighed inwardly and said, Langya Chamber of Commerce did exactly that. They made all the secret realms and ruins they discovered public. They had no intention of keeping them to themselves. The place suddenly became quiet. Tang Qian's brows were tightly furrowed. He thought a lot in a very short time. But I still can't figure it out. Why? What is the purpose of Langya Chamber of Commerce doing this? They spent so much money to explore the locations of the secret realms and ruins, but in the end they didn't use them for themselves. Instead, they chose to make them public. What did they want? Mr. Tang, the Langya Chamber of Commerce didn't pay a big price. Go Anshi thought for a moment and corrected him. In fact, they spend far less on obtaining information than our 3 major chambers of commerce. Lu Yanshuang pursed her lips and said, is it possible that their focus has never been on something in the secret realm, but something outside of the secret realm? Go Anshi suddenly looked at her. You mean, the core purpose of the Langya Foundation is to provide medical treatment and material subsidies to the monks who left the secret realm? Lu Yanshuang nodded. Judging from the past behavior of the young master of the Wang family, this is not impossible. Tang Qian, yes. Compared with the expenditures of the 3 major chambers of commerce in this regard, the expenditures of the Langya Chamber of Commerce can be regarded as a drop in the bucket. But why did they do that? In order to prevent Wang Emu's plan from succeeding. Although we don't know what Wang Mu is planning, as long as we are sure that he has some ulterior motive, then it would be right to disrupt his plot. No matter how much they lose. As long as Wang Mu doesn't make any money, it will be considered a success. These words sound a bit childish and a bit willful. But their 3 major chambers of commerce have been in the business world for so many years, and have been fooled by Wang Mu several times in a row. It is impossible for them to say that they have no resentment in their hearts. This seems to be irrational behavior. Just to vent. Even if it makes the young master of the Wang family feel a little uncomfortable, it is worth it. But it seems that they have missed the point. The action taken by Langya Chamber of Commerce this time is only to maintain and continue to enhance the reputation of Langya Foundation as in the past. So what are they doing now? I spent a lot of spirit stones to buy a bunch of information that was hard to tell true from false, occupied a bunch of worthless low-level relics and law treasures, and got a bunch of garbage that was totally unmatched by my efforts. In other words, they opened fire at full force, but nothing happened. If that's true, the young master of the Wang family didn't know how to laugh at them at this moment. Business is like a battlefield, full of changes, no one can guarantee that every decision will be correct. Tang Qian said expressionlessly. Even though we failed to disrupt Langya this time, we have a more accurate understanding of Wang Emu's style, which is also a benefit. Next time, we won't make the same mistake again. Hearing this, Go Anshi and Lu Yanshuang looked at each other and nodded in approval, with a hint of admiration in their eyes. He is worthy of being the new son-in-law entrusted with important tasks by Penglai Chamber of Commerce. His mentality was not shaken at all by a little setback. If it were someone with an average character, he would probably break down the defense right away. Okay, there are so many trivial matters in the Chamber of Commerce, and I'm sure you two also have many matters to deal with, so I won't keep you here. Goodbye. Reunion. After the two left, Tang Qian was the only one left in the room. His originally calm face suddenly became distorted, his breathing became rapid, his eyes were red, His fists were clenched, and he smashed the precious gold-veined stone table with one punch. Wang Xiu, congratulations, you have completely d me off. I'm ready to die. The real war has just begun. Senior sister Yao Yao, I haven't seen you for half a month. You are even more beautiful and charming. Even if you praise me, you still have to pay the balance of half a spirit stone, or I will report it to the Holy Lord. Sha Yaoyao is dressed extra coolly today. He must have just come out of the forge. The key parts were simply wrapped with a few pieces of cloth, leaving the slender, smooth arms and round, straight legs exposed, showing the graceful curves to the fullest. His whole body was covered with sweat, giving people a sense of capable and heroic beauty. She stared at Wang Xiu with a fierce look, as if she was staring at a scumbag who might run away and be irresponsible at any time. In the past half-month, the entire weapon refining pavilion disciples worked together to complete Wang Xiu's order. It can be said that we are working day and night. Even though they were only refining some low-quality communication symbols, weapon refining pavilion had its own pride. Even if it was a simple thing, it had to be created in its own style and could not be the same as the inferior stuff outside. After spending so much time and effort, if Wang Xiu took the things and ran away like he did in the past, they would suffer a huge loss. Sha Yaoyao also had no way of explaining to the disciples of the weapon refining pavilion in Elder Tianhuang. Therefore, Wang Xiu must be kept under watch. He cannot leave without paying. Look at what you said. Is my reputation that worthless? Haha, what do you think? Wang Xiu was filled with righteous indignation and said, Senior sister Yaoyao, you can't always look at people with tinted glasses. Sha Yaoyao frowned. What are tinted glasses? Wang Xiu said, what I mean is that I am no longer the same as I was before. You stay in sacred land all day long and are oblivious to worldly affairs, so you don't know. If you go out and ask around, you will find that in the whole Beihai, when anyone mentions me, Wang Xiu, they will give me a thumbs up and praise me as a good person, right? The corners of Sha Yaoyao's mouth twitched slightly, her eyes were full of contempt, and she almost had the words, only a fool would believe it, written on her face. Wang Xiu snorted and decided to prove his innocence today, so he raised his hand and took out a jade tablet. Did you see that? What's this? This is a stone tablet of merit issued to me by the three major chambers of commerce, Penglai, Sihai, and Yungong, thanking me for my outstanding contribution to the peace of the cultivation world in the Northern Territory. Sha Yaoyao's eyes changed. She took the jade tablet with the words, Infinite Merits, engraved on the front, Wang Xiu's name and some words of thanks written on the back, and looked at it repeatedly. We can indeed find traces of the unique refining techniques of the artifact refining masters of the three major chambers of commerce. Sha Yaoyao was a little surprised. Aren't the three major chambers of commerce at odds with your Langya Chamber of Commerce? Why would they give this to you? Wang Xiu said confidently, it is precisely because they are the competitors of Langya Chamber of Commerce that their evaluation seems particularly true, isn't it? This sounds quite reasonable. People who are sincerely admired even by their opponents are often not simple people. Sha Yaoyao looked at Wang Xiu suspiciously. The more she looked at him, the more she felt that this guy didn't look like a good man. He looked more like a profiteer. Has he really changed? Chapter 64 It's broken, I can't hold it anymore. Sha Yaoyao did not believe all of Wang Xiu's words. But the attitude did eventually waver and change a little. At this point, Wang Xiu was already satisfied, he knew that this thing worked. He took back the jade tablet with great care, waved his hand and said, okay, let's check the goods first. According to your request, we have divided these 1 million communication symbols into 4 styles, namely Azure Dragon, White Tiger, Vermilion Bird, and Black Tortoise. Each model has 4 levels, with a total of 700,000 pieces at the Chen Star level, 200,000 pieces at the Haoyu level, 80,000 pieces at the Sun level, and 20,000 pieces at the Universe level. The overall function is similar to a normal communication symbol, but the material is the best, the development array has been improved, and there are some additional capabilities for interactive contact. Wang Xiu took a space ring from Sha Yaoyao. Then he raised his hand and waved. 4 communication symbols of different sizes, styles and shapes suddenly appeared in front of him. All 4 communicators were of the Azure Dragon model, with a coiled dragon pattern made of special black gold on the back, looking particularly domineering and cool. The first difference is the color. The Chen Star level is bronze, the Haoyu level is secret silver, and the Yaori level is brilliant gold. The universe class is the most gorgeous, using noble purple, embellished with deep black, and the dragon's eyes are inlaid with deep red crystals, emitting a noble but not exaggerated brilliance. The main body of the front is a mirror surface made of deep-sea black gold. It is extremely smooth and can be used directly as a mirror. Wang Xiu was very satisfied. He fell in love with the designs at first sight, and it turned out that he made the right choice to find the weapon refining pavilion. For a young, handsome teenager like him who is always thinking about pursuing his ideals and aspiring to become an immortal, basically no one can resist the appearance of such a cool and handsome communication symbol. Even if you hold it in your hand as a decoration, it's super cool. The overall look and feel is very much like the transformation device of a transcendent level hero. But due to the special materials, that kind of real, heavy and noble feeling is far beyond the reach of inferior plastic. Good. Appearance is the first and most obvious area where the communication symbols that Wang Xiu requested need to be differentiated from the mainstream communication symbols on the market. Even the lowest level Chen star communication symbol, if taken out alone and placed together with ordinary communication symbols on the market, it can also achieve an absolute dimensionality reduction attack. It's totally not on the same level. Like scrap iron and a finely crafted piece of gold jewelry. In the immortal cultivation world, most artifact refining engineers and chambers of commerce are quite pragmatic. Most of their understanding of products is limited to the attribute of being easy to use. Certainly, this is also normal. After all, the immortal cultivation world is full of dangers, and fancy things are definitely not as good as real strength and durability. This also leads to the fact that almost no one would put effort into the appearance of items such as communication symbols. In their opinion, why bother putting in so much effort if the result will be the same? As long as it's presentable and not ugly, that's enough. But Wang Xiu has experienced an era of commercial boom. He knows how to make a common product attractive again, so that consumers will feel fresh and want to buy it. Appearance is the first step. Wang Xiu picked up a Chen star level Azure Dragon communication symbol. Under Sha Yaoyao's guidance, a ray of spiritual power was injected into it. The next moment, the originally dull mirror suddenly emitted a dazzling brilliance. A dragon-shaped projection rose from the communication symbol and let out a long roar, full of power. Then a dragon shadow shuttled through the air. They converge into a cool coiled dragon pattern. This is the startup animation. Next, an empty interface came into view. In the huge interface, there is only a lonely pattern, and 2 words are written below the pattern: communication. After clicking, a contact list will appear. There are naturally no mobile phone numbers in this era. When monks add each other's contact information, they are giving each other a trace of their own aura, so that when the other party casts a spell, they can transmit the information in the communication symbol to their location far away. Of course, this method has many disadvantages. If the distance is too far, the cultivator's cultivation is not high enough, and the power of the communication talisman cannot cross such a long distance, the message naturally cannot be delivered. Or there may be a restricted area between the two, which will cause the qi sensing to fail and the corresponding target to be unable to be found. Therefore, in today's cultivation world, communication talismans are actually only suitable for cultivators who are not far from each other, or relatively stable, and do not run around everywhere, and are used for daily communication. Face this. Wang Xiu had also prepared a solution long ago. Have all the communication hubs I want been refined? The center. Oh, you mean those array plates? Sha Yaoyao was slightly stunned, then reacted. It's also in the ring in your hand. Look for it yourself, it may be hidden a little deep. In one ring, there were 1,000,000 communication jade talismans, piled up like a mountain. It is naturally difficult to find something. Wang Xiu searched for a long time and finally found hundreds of array plates engraved with fine runes. And a crystal stone the size of a head, sparkling with 9-colored light. According to your request, all of these communication symbols have unique marks. As long as these communication symbols are activated, their aura will be sent to the nearest array disk first, and then transferred to the heavenly heart stone through the connection of the array disk. As long as we control the heavenly heart stone, we can know the current location of all the recorded communication symbols. Of course, the distance is limited. At present, it can probably only radiate to the North Sea. Wang Xiu listened to the explanation and used his spiritual sense to scan the object in his hand. The more he listened, the more satisfied he became. Not bad, really good. His purpose is simple. One-to-one communication can be easily intercepted and may lead to various unexpected accidents that are uncontrollable. Then follow the existing method in his mind. Build a large communication network. Tianhuang stone is not rare in the world of cultivation and is often used in large sects to record the aura of disciples. Once a disciple encounters an accident outside, the Tianhuang stone will be able to sense it. The strong men of the sect can immediately know the location of the other party and send people to rescue. Even if it is too late, you will know where the other person died. Wang Xiu used it for this purpose, and it acts as a server. And those array plates are similar to communication points and signal towers. He planned to place one at every Langya Chamber of Commerce location in Beihai. In this way, as long as there is a branch of Langya Chamber of Commerce nearby, there will be no problem with communication using the communication symbol. Even if there are restricted areas and special environments between the target to be contacted. As long as there are other Langya branches nearby, the signal will be transmitted to the Langya branch first, forming a network, thus bypassing the special area and achieving successful communication. As for how the monks trapped in the restricted area can communicate, Wang Xiu also has some plans. But you have to eat the food bite by bite. Let's implement the first step first. Seeing Wang Xiu's endless praise, Sha Yaoyao proudly puffed out her plump chest and said, "My weapon refining pavilion's work is not ordinary. Young Master Wang, since the inspection is correct, it's time to pay the balance." Of course, Wang Xiu said without hesitation and was about to take out the money. At this moment, several system prompts sounded in his mind. Bite. Congratulations host, your investment in Lin Yan has refined the Dinghai Dragon Ball and mastered the advanced version of the Kangtian Dragon Transformation Technique. Congratulations, you have received a reward for your cultivation effect from Lin Yan. As waves of power surged into Wang Xiu's body crazily. His pupils shrank slightly. I just felt like my body was going to burst. He was already at a critical point where he could break through at any time. At this moment, the rebate from Lin Yan's practice arrived and instantly broke through that layer of membrane. Broken. I can't hold it anymore. About to break through the gold core. Chapter 65. Is this the gold core? I would believe it if you said transcending tribulation. Above the God-forging island, the sky and the earth changed color. The huge spirit chi visible to the naked eye turned into tides, converging from all directions, and from a distance it looked like a Milky Way hanging across the sky. The spirit chi within a radius of 100 miles was all affected at this moment. The rich spirit chi continued to compress and form mist, like a huge funnel vortex, spinning slowly and steadily. This moment, it's not just the God-forging island. The Beiming sacred land disciples and elders on the surrounding islands all raised their heads at the same time, staring at the sky with fear and shock. Hiss, such a strong spiritual pressure. This fluctuation came from the God-forging island. Could it be that they have refined some kind of magical weapon or immortal pill that caused such a strange phenomenon in the world? If a law treasure or elixir wants to cause this level of resonance between heaven and earth, it must be at least immortal grade. In my opinion, it is more like a phenomenon caused by a cultivator's breakthrough. Is it possible that one of the elders is in transcending tribulation? If it is a transcending tribulation, it must be accompanied by a world-destroying thunderbolt, but right now there is only a strange phenomenon, without any trace of thunderbolt. Countless people are guessing, but I still can't get an answer. But soon, a fairy rainbow descended from the sky. The huge vision suddenly disappeared. Sha Yaoyao was dumbfounded. Her clear and beautiful eyes were wide open, staring at Wang Xiu, who was sitting cross-legged with his eyes closed in front of her, and her head was buzzing. We were having a nice chat just now. It's time to pay. Wang Xiu sat down on the ground with his butt, his face flushed and his whole body glowing. Waves of surging aura emanated from him, forcing Sha Yaoyao to retreat several steps. She looked up at the strange phenomenon in the sky, then glanced at Wang Xiu who was concentrating with his eyes closed. No. Is this a preparation for defaulting on your debt? In order to avoid paying the balance, he went through such a fuss. Who was he showing this to? Everyone in the entire northern territory knows this. You, the eldest young master of the Wang family, have been cursed since childhood and are unable to practice cultivation. What is going on now? But soon, she realized something was wrong. That powerful aura was indeed emanating continuously from Wang Xiu. The strange phenomena between heaven and earth also echoed the aura of Wang Xiu. It is definitely not an illusion created by some law treasure or spiritual object. If that were the case, Sha Yaoyao would not be able to hide it from her eyes. She was fully confident. Suddenly a Taoist figure appeared in the room. Cold, arrogant, beautiful, domineering, venerable and noble. Two completely different auras are perfectly combined in her. It is like a fairy sword forged from 10,000-year-old black ice. Disciple pays respect to the Holy Lord. Sha Yaoyao saluted quickly. Luo Xuanxuang first glanced at Wang Xiu, then retracted her gaze and looked at Sha Yaoyao. After a slight hesitation, he waved his sleeves. Sha Yaoyao only felt a flash before her eyes. When I looked up, I found myself between towering cliffs, and below me was a vast ocean with no end in sight. In the sky, the vision was still there, and the funnel-shaped vortex of spiritual mist became more and more condensed, rotating steadily and slowly. Wang Xiu sat not far away, still with his eyes closed. Luo Xuanxuang stood beside him, looking at him with emotion and satisfaction in her eyes. Holy Lord! At this moment, Sha Yaoyao has realized that she has come to Luo Xuanxuang's realm of heaven and earth. Luo Xuanxuang said, I hope you can keep the fact that more can practice cultivation a secret. Sha Yaoyao was a little nervous and nodded. As the only true disciple of Elder Tianhuang, this was not her first time meeting the Holy Lord. But the current situation is obviously different from ordinary occasions. Clear. Sha Yaoyao quickly raised a hand and said, Disciple will keep this secret. Luo Xuanxuang nodded. The other party was the only true disciple of Elder Tianhuang. Even for Elder Tianhuang's sake, she could not force Sha Yaoyao to swear a blood oath like she did when facing Li Yuanhua. Anyway, in her opinion, it was impossible to keep the fact that her son could practice cultivation a secret for the rest of his life. Sooner or later, outsiders will know. Even if it cannot be concealed, it is not a big deal. At most, we can just put more strong people around him to protect him. Luo Xuanxuang stopped looking at her and returned his gaze to Wang Xiu. Sha Yaoyao also subconsciously looked at Wang Xiu. Suddenly, he discovered that a large number of mysterious lights of various colors appeared on his body: red, blue, green, purple. Then, dense seal characters appeared in the void. Those are a series of exercises and scriptures. Mu Yuan Ju, Mizumoto Yo, Earth Yuan Ju. Sha Yaoyao's eyes widened. She recognized those skills. They were not high level, they were just slightly stronger than the common basic skills out there. How is this possible? Wang Xiu is the young master of the Wang family. The only offspring of the Holy Lord of Beiming. How could he practice such a low-level technique? Moreover, one book is not enough, why practice so many books? What's the point? Could it be that by practicing one more skill, I can have twice as much magic power as others? It's out of the question. Because there is a limit to a cultivator's cultivation level, if you have an additional magic power of a different attribute in your body, the original total amount of magic power will have to be reduced. There is no benefit in practicing the 5 books except wasting a lot of energy. If it was an independent cultivator from the outside world who knew nothing about common sense in cultivation, it would be understandable that he would make such a mistake when he first started practicing. But for the young master of the Wang family, is it possible? The more Sha Yaoyao looked at it, the weirder it seemed. I just felt that Wang Xiu was full of secrets, and the whole person seemed to be wrapped in fog and could not be seen clearly at all. Soon, Sha Yaoyao realized something was wrong. More and more light flew out from him. Each aura is completely different, obviously coming from different skills. Withered Yuan Ju, Thunder Curse, Black Gold Skill, Jade Girl Skill, Rakshasa Skill. The number is increasing. There are tens of thousands of them. Most of the auras revealed their true meaning, which was a manifestation of Wang Emu's comprehending those skills to the limit of perfection. Oh no, I really can't stay up all night refining artifacts. I'm hallucinating. Sha Yaoyao's beautiful face was filled with disbelief. Her rosy lips were slightly parted, and her silly expression was kind of cute. Where does one person get the energy to practice and comprehend so many techniques? Even a sacred land saint child level character. No matter how talented, energy is also limited. Even if the grades of those skills are not very high, with so many of them, it would take at least hundreds of years to comprehend all of them. This is totally against common sense. And, not all techniques can be learned together. There are many techniques that are clearly mutually exclusive and may even cause indelible damage to the cultivator's Dao foundation. This is simple common sense. But for Wang Xiu, these common sense and principles seem to no longer exist. Sudden, vast magical power surged out from Wang Emu's body, and the vast waves rushed straight to the sky, causing the huge funnel-shaped spiritual mist vortex to shake violently. Sha Yaoyao opened her eyes wide again. Grass. What the hell is this, the pure mana that a foundation-building monk can have? Her perception was overturned once again, and she burst into swearing. The already full breasts rose and fell violently, creating a stunning arc. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel. Chapter 66 Sha Yaoyao, why don't you just kill me? No. 66. Sha Yaoyao couldn't help but swear. Luo Xuanxuang, who was not far away, immediately looked over. Sha Yaoyao quickly covered her mouth. Holy Lord. I'm not scolding him. Luo Xuanxuang said nothing and looked away. She looked calm on the surface, but in fact she was no less shocked than Sha Yaoyao. Ever since I learned that Wang Xiu could practice. When she returned to Sacred Land, she began to arrange all the subsequent training matters for Wang Xiu. Including what kind of exercises to practice. What spiritual objects are used in the foundation building stage? What spirit medicine do you use to take a bath every day? After 2 years of bathing, you will start to condense the gold core. What natural materials and treasures will be used to assist you? Then there is the nascent soul formation, transcending tribulation. In short, I want to give the best of everything. I'm so busy every day. She thought of countless plans in her mind, but ultimately rejected them all because she felt they were not good enough. Unfortunately, this matter had to be kept secret, and she couldn't seek advice from a group of Sacred Land elders. She contacted Wang Xiu, the butcher who was in charge of the army of the great Sha Immortal dynasty, far beyond the North Sea, and the couple discussed the matter together. But even with 2 Earth Immortals working together, they both felt that their knowledge reserves were not enough at this time. But she really didn't expect it. She hasn't even come up with a plan yet, but Wang Xiu has already completed the foundation building and started to build the gold core. What a speed! It's too fast. Moreover, even with her experience and vision, she could not tell what kind of cultivation method Wang Xiu was taking. I never saw him practice the Wang family's 9 Dragons Immortal scripture. There was not even a trace of the Northern Sword Canon that she taught. How could he, having practiced a number of techniques that were totally unpresentable, have accumulated such a terrifying level of skills? Why does she have a feeling? Aren't our precious son and she the same immortal? No matter what, this is no small matter. My son has a big secret. If it spreads, it is enough to make Earth Immortal and even stronger beings covetous. Luo Xuanxuang frowned slightly and looked at Sha Yaoyao in the distance, as if thinking about something. Sha Yaoyao's heart tightened. The 6th sense begins to warn. She swallowed her saliva and said, Holy Lord, don't worry. I will never reveal a single word about what happened today. I, Sha Yaoyao, will keep my word. If not, let my master beat the shit out of me. See her take the initiative to express her opinion. Luo Xuanxuang pondered for a long time and said, You are the designated successor of Elder Tianhuang. I believe in you. Don't let me down. Otherwise, even if I don't take action, your master won't be able to bear the consequences. These words showed that Luo Xuanxuang was still willing to give her master some face. Sha Yaoyao nodded repeatedly and suddenly felt that her clothes had become heavy. Look down. Only then did I realize that my body was covered in cold sweat. The pressure from the Holy Lord is so terrifying. It was at this moment. The magic power in Wang Xiu's body was highly condensed. 3 feet above his head, it was compressed madly, shining brightly, and gradually formed a round gold core. Gold core pre-made. The world is changing drastically. The spiritual mist funnel above suddenly deformed and turned into a waterfall that rushed down from the sky. Boom! The sea was surging and the sky was dim. There was a dazzling light on Wang Xiu's body, which flickered, and his entire body was surrounded by a chaotic aura. Under the rush of this terrifying spirit chi waterfall, Wang Xiu's gold core just shook slightly and then stabilized its shape. Rays of light flickered continuously, like an invisible giant mouth, greedily devouring the spirit chi and energy between heaven and earth. Tiny lines also began to appear on the surface of the gold core. This moment, both Sha Yaoyao and Luo Xuanxuang looked extremely serious. Those fine lines are called pill pattern. Each Dao pill pattern represents 1st grade. The more pill patterns there are, the higher the quality of the gold core is, which is related to the future potential of the practitioner. This guy condensed a gold core and created such a terrifying phenomenon. I guess he must be at least 7th grade. Sha Yaoyao was secretly complaining in her heart. She possesses a body that has been refined 100 times, and she is gifted with extraordinary talents. She achieved 6th grade gold core in the past and was famous for a time. With the careful guidance of Elder Tianhuang, it is almost certain that she will enter soul formation in the future. Even if the opportunity arises, there may still be a chance to break through the transcending tribulation before the end of the 3,000-year lifespan. Every gap between gold core grade and first grade is like a chasm. This is especially true from the middle 3 grades to the upper 3 grades. Even the sacred lords of the sacred land could not achieve that every generation would grow up from 8th or 9th grade gold cores. There were many who were ranked as sacred lords. Therefore, her guess that Wang Xiu could condense a 7th grade gold core was already a bold guess. However, it turned out that her vision was still too small. Oink oink. In almost the blink of an eye, 6 pill patterns condensed on the gold core, as if they appeared at the same time, causing Sha Yaoyao to shudder all over, and her chest also trembled. Afterwards, there was no lingering time. The 7th pill pattern emerges. Then comes the 8th one. The 9th one. It was done in one go, without any sluggishness or difficulty. Both of them were stunned. Previous years. Luo Xuanxuang condensed the 9th grade heterogeneous gold core sword cutting the 9th sky. The whole process took a full month, 20 days of which were spent on the 8th to 9th Dao pill pattern. This is an extremely difficult process. We must squeeze our own potential to the limit. And Wang Xiu only took a few breaths. To what extent has his foundation and accumulation reached? It is also this moment. They both realized at the same time that 9th grade gold core was by no means Wang Xiu's limit. As expected, after a while, a new pill pattern appeared on the surface of Wang Xiu's gold core. 10th grade. It's really 10th grade. Sha Yaoyao was almost speechless and looked at Wang Xiu as if he was looking at a monster. Who would have thought? The young master of the Wang family, who has always been regarded as a dissolute young master who is unable to cultivate, actually has such a terrifying talent. 10th grade gold core that goes beyond the limits. How many years has it been since I last saw the entire northern territory? Suddenly, she shuddered all over and felt a bone-chilling chill enveloping her. She raised her head and met Luo Xuanxuang's gloomy gaze. This glance. She then understood what Luo Xuanxuang was thinking. He raised his hand and said, I can swear a blood oath. If I reveal any details of the young master's cultivation, I will not make any progress in my cultivation in this lifetime. Sha Yaoyao's desire to survive is maxed out. Immediately in front of Luo Xuanxuang, he swore a blood oath to his inner demon. The coldness in Luo Xuanxuang's eyes gradually dissipated. No way. 10th grade gold core is of great significance. Once it is spread, the other 2 great sacred lands in the northern territory probably couldn't even sleep well, and were dreaming about how to deal with Wang Xiu. At this time, Elder Tianhuang's face could no longer save Sha Yaoyao. If she didn't swear, Luo Xuanxuang could only use some methods to reassure herself, but Sha Yaoyao would never feel good that way. However, Sha Yaoyao made her vow not long ago. The 11th pill pattern appeared faintly on Wang Xiu's gold core. Sha Yaoyao, Luo Xuanxuang, both of them were silent. There is numbness and dullness, but more importantly, there is a lack of trust in this world. How about, you erase this memory of mine? Chapter 67 My son, Wang Xiu, has the potential to become a great emperor. Sha Yaoyao regretted it deeply. What is going on? If she had known this earlier, she would have directly assigned another disciple to liaise with Wang Xiu. Even if the balance cannot be received, it would be 1,000 times easier than it is now. A female sword immortal, famous in the northern territory, could strike at you with her sword at any time. That kind of pressure, whoever tries it will know. But before she could finish her words, the 12th pill pattern emerges. At the same time, the spirit chi between heaven and earth is restless and disordered. Above the 9 heavens, all light disappeared and everything became pitch black. It shows endless chaos, as if it is the void between eternity, or like the chaotic ancient times before the creation of heaven and earth, vast and endless, as if countless lives have been annihilated in it. Suddenly, a bright light appeared, like a sharp axe blade, cutting through the endless black fog and tearing apart the rolling chaos. Countless stars, galaxies, worlds, and gods were born from the destruction. 12th grade vision gold core, chaos opening heaven. The vision came quickly, disappeared quickly too. The surrounding scene quickly returned to what it was just now. My son Wang Xiu really has the talent to be a great emperor. Luo Xuanxuang took a deep breath, came back to her senses from the unspeakable shock, and her heart was filled with pride. Then his eyes fell quietly on Sha Yaoyao. Oh. At this moment, Sha Yaoyao did not try to survive as she did before. Instead, she shook her head, laughed, and simply sat down on the ground. Destroy it. I'm tired. Quote. This F asterisk 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 G world is so F asterisk 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 ed up. The unprecedented 12th grade gold core. Still a strange phase. How could she meet him? At this moment, Sha Yaoyao had completely given up struggling. From Luo Xuanxuang's perspective, there are 10,000 reasons to kill himself. What blood oath? What erases memory? With the methods of the great sacred land, as long as Sha Yaoyao's soul is not completely destroyed, she can't even enter the reincarnation. Then there is always a way to find out something you want to know from her. No doubt about it, the 12th grade gold core is absolutely worth every cost to the great sacred lands, and face is the least valuable. Once Wang Xiu grows up, all under heaven must submit to me. Sacred land is no different from pigs and dogs. When Wang Xiu opened his eyes, he found himself still in Sha Yaoyao's forging room. Luo Xuanxuang was standing beside him. Mom, why are you here? He was immersed in the experience of breaking through the gold core and had no idea what was happening outside. What are you talking about? Luo Xuanxuang rolled her eyes at Wang Xiu, slightly annoyed, but more loving in her eyes. Child, you didn't tell your mother in advance about such an important breakthrough, so that I could prepare a secret room for you. Wang Xiu touched the back of his head and said, I don't have much experience. I used to make breakthroughs anywhere. I didn't expect this time to be different. Sha Yaoyao, senior sister Yaoyao, what's wrong with you? Why are you looking at me like a grudge? Wang Xiu looked at Sha Yaoyao curiously. He always felt that the other party had changed a lot. The look in her eyes when she looked at him was strange, complex and full of resentment. It's okay. Sha Yaoyao glanced at Luo Xuanxuang and quickly glanced away. Luo Xuanxuang didn't kill her, but he didn't let her go either. Instead, he left a special restriction in her soul. Once Sha Yaoyao intends to leak the news that Wang Xiu has condensed the 12th grade gold core, she will immediately die and not even a fragment of her will can be found. I just broke through, I need to consolidate my realm, let's go sit with mom. No, maybe next time. I have to go back to do my business. Wang Xiu said as he touched the space ring in his hand that contained 1,000,000 communication symbols. Nothing is more important than your health. Be obedient. Luo Xuanxuang's face turned serious. Okay. There was nothing Wang Xiu could do about his mother, so he had to go back with her to the Holy Lord's exclusive palace and stay there for 2 days. At the same time, summon Ni Tingting and ask her to come over and deliver the communication symbols to the Langya Chamber of Commerce, ready to start selling them. And some of the key points are all pointed out. Before selling the communication symbols, we must first distribute the signal stations, the array plates. According to what I marked on the plan, the first batch of 128 signal stations must be perfectly implemented. There can be no deviation at all. Then, our communication talismans are much more expensive than those on the market, and many cultivators will be discouraged from buying them, so we have to find a group of agents first. Have you written it all down? Remember it, Ni Tingting said seriously, holding a phonograph in her hand. Okay, go ahead. Yes. Luo Xuanxuang watched with relish as Wang Xiu gave instructions on how to deal with the country with great enthusiasm and eloquence, his eyes filled with love and admiration for his precious son. My son is so handsome. She thought sincerely. What's wrong, Mom? Why are you looking at me like that? Is there something on my face? Wang Xiu touched his face in confusion. Luo Xuanxuang nodded seriously. He has the appearance of a great emperor. Wang Xiu. Mom, I told you not to say that. Luo Xuanxuang took it for granted and said with pride, that's the truth. Even those true teachings, saint children, or ancient clan divine children that the sacred land is so proud of are nothing in front of my son. Wang Xiu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Mom, if I really become the #1 loser in the Northern Territory, you have an unshakable responsibility. What's the matter? Luo Xuanxuang held her chin with one hand, not ashamed but proud. My son, if I don't spoil him, who will? A few days later, in the entire Beihai area, a sign was hung outside the doors of all Langya branches. New products are on the market. Today, the reputation of Langya Chamber of Commerce is almost overflowing. Any movement will attract special attention. Qingyan Islands, Langya Subcolon. Countless monks gathered in front of the door. Zhang Xian is a young monk of Qi refining stage. Joined a small sect. By chance, he obtained an incomplete book of talismans. After decades of hard work, he became a well-known rank 1 talisman master in the surrounding area, and his wealth was much wealthier than most independent cultivators. At this moment, he was also in the crowd in front of the Langya branch, listening to the shopkeeper talking eloquently. Everyone, today our Chamber of Commerce is launching a new product. It was developed and improved by hundreds of artifact refining great masters in the Sacred Land Weapon Refining Pavilion in the North Sea. It is a communication symbol of the new era that you have never seen before. Quote. After these words were spoken, the crowd fell silent. Oh my God, such a long prefix, it made my blood boil. I thought something extraordinary had happened. After all this time, it's a communication symbol. It's boring. What's so great about the communication talisman? It's just that useful. These businessmen can't stop bragging. Let's go. Zhang Xian also sneered, shook his head, and prepared to leave nonchalantly. Suddenly, the discussion of the two monks next to him made him stop. Chapter 68. He is so handsome, how can I resist? Wow, I've heard that the Langya Chamber of Commerce and Biming Sacred Land are going to launch a communication symbol with epic-making significance. I've finally waited for it. It is said that this batch of communication symbols are divided into 4 styles: Azure Dragon, White Tiger, Vermilion Bird, and Black Tortoise. Each style has a grade. They are all very beautiful and cool. Not only are they beautiful, I heard that the materials of these communication symbols are also carefully selected. The main body is made of deep-sea black gold and snow mountain ice crystals. The quality is excellent. The feeling of holding it in the hand is simply amazing. I heard that when using this new communication symbol to contact fellow Taoists, it can also cause strange phenomena and summon divine beasts to protect the body. That scene is exciting just thinking about it. I can't wait to change it. The communication talismans I bought before were ugly and tacky, and not easy to use. As modern practitioners, we should be nicer to ourselves. Zhang Xian was a little confused when he heard this. Fellow Taoists, you guys have heard about this one after another. Where did you hear this from? How come I have never heard of this before? The people who were chatting happily looked at him warily. Don't worry about it, we heard it anyway. Zhang Xian. Similar situation. In fact, it is happening at every Langya scene. Most people are not that interested in the new type of communication symbols. But I don't know why. There are always a few mysterious monks around them who have a wide range of sources of information. They discuss the various magical features of the new communication symbols and exaggerate them, which arouses all their curiosity. Is it that mysterious? Zhang Xian was puzzled and thought about it. He did not leave immediately but stayed and watched. The shopkeeper of was still speaking some polite words. At the same time, keep paying attention to the people around you. Until more and more monks gathered together and reached the scale they expected. Then he took out a metal box with extremely luxurious carvings with great caution. Opened the box again. He took out a palm-sized communication symbol from it with both hands. It has a unique shape and is bronze in color. The back is carved with a lifelike white tiger shape, which is very domineering. The shopkeeper introduced. This is our Chen star level white tiger communication symbol. Everyone, please take a look. What exquisite carving, it's obviously the work of a master. That's quite interesting. Is this a communication symbol? It looks like an ancient treasure from some ruins. It's very eye-catching. As expected, as soon as this Chen star level white tiger communication symbol appeared. This made many monks present light up. You know, the communication symbol they use in daily life is just a piece of jade the length of a finger with runes carved on it. It is far different in appearance. Of course, there were also calmer ones who asked, it seems to be just better looking than other communication charms. The key is, after using a communication charm a few times, the runes will wear out and you have to replace it. There's no point in making it look so good, right? The communication symbol is a consumable item. It can just be used more times than paper talismans. Good question. The shopkeeper of smiled and said, Dear guests, this is the second feature of our communication talisman, super long battery life, please take a look. Battery life. Everyone present was hearing this word for the first time, but with a little knowledge, it was not difficult to understand its meaning. The shopkeeper showed everyone the side of the communication symbol carved with the shape of a white tiger. Then, he took out a middle-grade spirit stone and placed it in front of the bloody mouth of the white tiger. Buzz. The light rose, and a vortex appeared in the white tiger's mouth, swallowing the spirit stone. The glow on its body became more real and more lifelike. Seeing this scene, all the monks present showed strange looks in their eyes. Our new communication symbol can continuously replenish energy by consuming spirit stone. 20 low-grade spirit stones can support 2,000 times. In theory, once you buy our communication charms, you won't need to buy them again in the future. Wow! Everyone was immediately in an uproar. In other words, this new type of communication symbol is no longer a consumable item, but a law treasure that can be held and used for a long time. Just replenish the energy when it is depleted. A normal communication charm on the market costs 20 spirit stones and can be used 1,000 times. If used frequently, it will be used up in 2 or 3 months. Then it seems that this is more economical. For the same money, I can do it twice as many times. That's true, but look at the material and workmanship of this white tiger communication charm. You can tell it can't be cheap. But this one doesn't need to be replaced. Once you buy one, it can last a lifetime. As long as the price is not too expensive, I think it's acceptable. Quote. Many monks began to take an interest in this new communication symbol, and the light in their eyes became brighter. Boss, don't keep me in suspense. How many spirit stones does this communication charm cost? Yeah, how much is it? Quote. Haha. The shopkeeper of semicolon smiled and said, don't worry, everyone. I haven't finished the introduction yet. What I'm going to say next is the most important thing. Besides, everyone, just look. In front of everyone, the shopkeeper of semicolon injected a trace of spiritual energy and activated the white tiger communication symbol. Ah! The next moment, the entire communication symbol glowed brightly and dazzlingly, and the white tiger seemed to come alive, forming a colorful spirit body, with a powerful and majestic look, hovering above the shopkeeper's head. At first glance, it was as if the shopkeeper had used some secret method to summon ancient mythical beasts, which was extremely domineering and cool. Countless male monks present were staring with their eyes wide open. FK. Is it possible? Oh my god, I could bear the previous ones, but I can't bear this. So cool, so cool. Quote. The monks began to get excited and cheer, and the scene was extremely hot. Just at this moment, a voice fell like cold water. Haha, isn't it just some tricks playing with light and shadow? It's not a real beast soul. Everyone turned around to look. But I saw 3 people standing side by side, all wearing gorgeous clothes. The man in the middle had a look of disdain on his face, and the words just now obviously came from him. The shopkeeper Mu of Langya branch narrowed his eyes slightly and smiled even more. It turns out to be shopkeeper Chu, shopkeeper Song, and shopkeeper Li. These 3 are the heads of the other 3 chambers of commerce on the island. Today, the Langya Chamber of Commerce made such a big fuss. Of course they couldn't miss it. You 3 have come at the right time. How about doing me a favor? Shopkeeper Mu looked at the 3 of them with a smile. What help? Manager Song of the Yunlai branch frowned. Easy, give me a wisp of your breath, and let me demonstrate the scene when our communication symbol contacts someone. Quote. The corner of shopkeeper Song's mouth twitched. This meant that he was being used as free labor. Of course he didn't want to. But with so many people watching, he couldn't seem too petty and narrow-minded, so he could only respond, how difficult is that? With a wave of his hand, a breath of air was sent out. Shopkeeper Mu raised his hand to take it and injected the breath into the communication symbol. Afterwards, everyone saw that a line of words appeared in the interface where the white tiger communication symbol floated up. Contact added successfully, please take note. Shopkeeper Mu's mind moved, and the words shopkeeper Song from Yunlai slowly appeared, and then he raised his hand and pointed in the air. The white tiger roared instantly and ran and shuttled in the void. In a flash, it appeared above shopkeeper Song's head like a tiger descending from the mountain, and let out a long roar, which frightened him so much that he took several steps back and almost fell down. Chapter 69 is now on sale. Crazy Rush. Shopkeeper Song looked up. White tiger raised its giant claws, and ripples appeared in the void in front of it, revealing a picture. Among them was the smiling expression of shopkeeper Mu. Manager Song, it's just some light and shadows, look how scared you are. Shopkeeper Song. Shopkeeper Song's face turned green. Revenge. This is definitely revenge. It has to be said that the craftsmanship of weapon refining pavilion is indeed top-notch in the world. This white tiger phantom is just a phantom. But it has both form and spirit, and is full of charm, and is almost indistinguishable from the real thing. Even though shopkeeper Song knew that this was fake, he could still feel the strong sense of power. He couldn't help but feel nervous, as if he was being suppressed by a communication symbol. He bit his lips tightly, unable to utter a word. He snorted coldly and waved his hand to dispel the scene in front of him. It can be considered as a communication interruption. After all, the principle of the communication symbols in the immortal cultivation world is different from that of the mobile phones in the previous life. It is not necessary for both parties to hold the device. As long as you record a breath, you can find the target to convey the information within the corresponding range. The information is often conveyed in two ways. One is real-time communication, just like what happened just now. There is another type, similar to text messages, which packages messages and other information. When the other party receives it, they can scan it with spiritual sense and understand its meaning. There are only a few ways of exchanging information between people. There is nothing new under the sun. No matter which world it is in, it will always develop into something similar. This may be another way to achieve the same goal. Oh my god, this is so cool. Ma'am, I want this. Please give me more pocket money this month. This is too much, I really can't stand this. What about the price, boss? Don't keep me in suspense. Tell me the price quickly so I can give up. Why are you so stubborn? I'm willing to wait for a year for my cultivation to stop moving, but I'll just buy it. At worst, I won't take the pills. Quote. Who doesn't have a few close friends these days? They didn't dare to imagine that after buying this thing, they would directly flick a white tiger to the other side, and watch the other side tremble in fear, then be shocked, then grit their teeth with envy, and beat their chests and stamp their feet. How cool would that be? It feels so good that your scalp tingles, doesn't it? The place has become completely heated. Basically every monk had a red face and couldn't wait. Shopkeeper Mu was also very excited. But the requirements were very strict and the process could not be wrong, so he still didn't quote a price. Instead, he displayed several other communication symbols one by one. First up is the Azure Dragon, flamboyant and free and easy, radiating lightning, majestic and full of fighting spirit. Then came the Vermilion Bird, bright as fire, delicate as a flower, enchanting and beautiful, like a phoenix in the sky, instantly capturing the hearts of countless female cultivators present. Wow! So beautiful, I want this, husband, buy it for me. Ah, ma'am, do you have to make a decision so quickly? Isn't it a bit hasty? Fast, can it be faster than you? I don't even dislike you. If you don't buy it for me, I will go find my childhood sweetheart. Quote. No, I'll buy it, I'll definitely buy it. Quote. Finally, there is Black Tortoise. Although it is not as flamboyant and glamorous as the first three, it is heavy and unparalleled, and filled with an ancient sense of majesty, as if it has been like this since the creation of opening heaven, which subconsciously makes people convinced and respectful. This one makes many monks who are over hundreds of years old, hold high positions or whose enthusiasm has almost cooled down quite satisfied. Each style has a corresponding group of people. In different levels. The materials used also vary greatly. For the Chen star level, deep-sea black gold is basically used, mixed with some rare and fine gold. The Haoyu grade is made of 9 refined black steel forged and mixed with 6 rare metals. It is incredibly hard and has strong mana transmission performance. The Yaoyang class is based on the Haoyu class, with some star sand added. It is an extremely rare material. Adding some during artifact refining can effectively enhance the power of law treasure. Reflected in appearance. It was at that moment that a dazzling golden light like the scorching sun bloomed at all times. That's not spiritual power at work. Rather, it is the light emitted by the material itself that is very dazzling. As for the highest universe level, no one was able to see it. For a while, the monks were very excited. Frankly speaking, the Chen star level is already very good, and it is enough to satisfy everyone if taken alone. Available in front of several other levels. He was instantly surpassed. The scene was already bombed. Until then, shopkeeper Mu calmly took out a crystal ball and injected a ray of spiritual power into it. Suddenly, a huge curtain of light was formed, which appeared in front of everyone. Chen star level, uniform price, 188 low-grade spirit stones. Haoyu class, uniform price, 1,888 low-grade spirit stones. Sun level, uniform price, 18,888 low-grade spirit stones. Universe grade, uniform price, 108,888 low-grade spirit stones. Wow, oh my god, this is so expensive. I knew it wouldn't be cheap, but I didn't expect it to be this expensive. Actually, it's not that bad. After all, it's something I can use for a lifetime, and I think it's worth it. It's less than 200 spirit stones, and I can still get it if I grit my teeth. Yes, just the moment that white tiger flew in front of someone else, I think it was worth it. Oh my god. I was planning to get a Yaoyang class 1, but now it seems like a Haoyu class 1 is barely enough. Haoyu level is pretty good. Unlike me, I am extremely poor and still lack some spirit stones for Chen star level. Let's forget about the rest. Look at the price. It's not something we're considering at all. Quote. Listening to the discussions of the crowd, shopkeeper Mu felt a deep admiration in his heart. This set of introduction procedures and scripts were sent by the headquarters for them to strictly follow. Originally, he was still wondering, since the communication talisman was so expensive, those cultivators would just run away upon hearing about it, and would not have the mind to read the following introduction. However, in this set of sales pitch, he was specifically asked to introduce all the highlights first, and then mention the price at the end. It really works. The price of these communication symbols is 10 or even 100 times higher than those on the market. But now these monks think it is normal and acceptable. Which genius came up with this idea? He suppressed his distracting thoughts and announced loudly, "Now, the sale begins." Crash! All the monks in the field went crazy in an instant and rushed over like an overwhelming force. I'm afraid it'll be out of stock if I'm late. Give me a Chen level Azure Dragon communication talisman. I want 2, a white tiger and a vermilion bird. I'll take 5. I want a Haoyu class 1. Black tortoise. Quote. Don't rush, take your time, line up, one by one. Looking at the crazy looks of these monks, shopkeeper Mu was a little scared and shouted loudly. Then I was immersed in pain and happiness. This young master wants a Sun level 1. Suddenly, a proud voice sounded, causing the room to quiet down slightly. Chapter 70. The hardworking Mr. Shi. When everyone looked over, they saw a young man in gorgeous clothes, with his head held high and a folding fan in his hand, pushing aside the crowd. Is it the young master of the Shi family, Shi Yiming? This is a big clan. With the nascent soul ancestor in charge, they are always short of money. I heard that he invested in Penglai Yunhai Chamber of Commerce some time ago, and was beaten up by the disaster victims. It seems that his injuries have healed. Quote. Shi Yiming's mouth twitched slightly, and he pretended not to hear the crickets chirping behind him. But I still felt a dull pain all over my body from time to time. He is now allergic to the 4 words Penglai Si of clouds. Can't hear anything. Today, he wants to avenge his previous shame and pretend to be in the spotlight. Sun class communication charm. Which one would Master Shi like? Azure Dragon. Okay. Shopkeeper Mu smiled and brought out a communication talisman with more luxurious packaging and handed it to Shi Yiming. Shi Yiming opened the box in front of countless people and took it out. It was actually a golden communication symbol. It sparkles brightly in the sun like an ancient divine weapon, emitting an aura of nobleness that captivates everyone. As he shed blood to confess his master, an azure dragon suddenly flew out from the communication symbol, its body entangled with thunder and lightning, making an astonishing sound. It did not float above his head like the Chen star level ones, but instead gave birth to a spiritual body, entangled around Shi Yiming. Like a pet beast, the whole place was dead silent. Is this the Sun class communication symbol? This vision is too real, isn't it? Shi Yiming was also stunned. He tried to stretch out his hand, and the azure dragon stretched out its head and rubbed Shi Yiming's hand. Oh my god. Although there is no real touch, there is a slight burning smell, just like the breath of Azure Dragon. Interesting, interesting. Shi Yiming was so excited, this guy was so handsome. This is what is worthy of this young master's status, breaking voice. He pursed his lips and couldn't wait to inject a breath into it. Suddenly, a new name appeared in the contact list on the interface. Lu Ruoan. Afterwards, the Azure Dragon soared into the sky, whistling in the air with bursts of thunder, and then disappeared into the void. Azure Dragon created ripples in the void, which continued to ripple and unfold into a picture. He couldn't wait to show off in front of Lu Ruoan. Last time, Lu Ruoan was highly praised by the disaster victims because he invested in the Langya Foundation. But he became the target of beating. Not only that, Lu Ruoan also got together with his beloved Miss Meng because of this. He vowed not to be a human being until he had taken revenge. And fast. After all, the Lu family is no less powerful than the Shi family. If he can afford this Sun class communicator, then he can certainly do it too. Be one step ahead and step on the other person's face. However, an accident happened. The Azure Dragon broke through the void, but did not go too far away. Instead, it appeared in the crowd at the other end, with its fangs and claws bared, tearing out a projection. Lu Ruoan's mouth twitched. He was startled by the azure dragon that suddenly pounced in front of him. His face turned pale and he couldn't help but cursed. Why are you sending me a message? Shi Yiming. He didn't expect that Lu Ruoan was also at the scene, and Meng Qiuyu was with him. His face darkened a bit, and he snorted coldly, saying, "This young master is bored, is that okay?" Ill. Lu Ruoan spat and walked up to shopkeeper Mu. "We also want the Sun Class 1s, a white tiger and a vermilion bird." There are stars in Meng Qiuyu's eyes. The vermilion bird one was obviously bought for her. Everyone was talking about it. The young master of the Lu family was indeed very wealthy. He spent nearly 40,000 spirit stones without even blinking an eye. He is worthy of being the direct descendant of the nascent Soul family. Moreover, it is said that because of the previous investment in the Langya Foundation, the Lu family's reputation has soared, and various businesses within the family have also increased. This made his status in the family rise rapidly. There is a tendency that he is being trained as the next head of the family. Extremely high authority. At least it's higher than Shi Yiming's. Shopkeeper Mu glanced at him and said, "Wait a moment." Then he walked into the house, and when he came out, he was holding a purple gold box inlaid with precious crystals in his hand. It looks extremely luxurious and is much higher than other levels of packaging. What is this? Lu Ruoan was a little stunned. This is a universe-level Azure Dragon communication symbol. Shopkeeper Mu said with a smile. There was a moment of dead silence. Shi Yiming's eyes widened. He walked forward quickly, glanced at the box, and said indignantly, "Boss, didn't you just say that the universe level ones are out of stock?" Shopkeeper Mu said calmly, "Mr. Shi, you heard wrong. It's not that we don't have any stock, but that there is too little stock and it is too precious. We don't have any. If you want to buy the world-class ones, you must make an appointment first, queue up, and let the headquarters arrange the delivery." Shi Yiming pointed at the box in front of him. "Then why does he have it?" Shopkeeper Mu explained. The Lu family was once the first in the Langya Foundation merit list in Qingyan Islands. Therefore, I am giving you a universal communication talisman as a token of gratitude for your contribution to the peace charity of the Immortal cultivation world in the Northern Territory. Shi Yiming. Lu Ruoan. Everyone. Is this okay? Is this okay? Ordinary people can't even buy it, but the top one on the Langya merit list is given one directly as a gift. Everyone was stunned and breathing rapidly. Lu Ruoan was also dumbfounded. This was like a pie falling from the sky, and he was stunned. There is such a good thing. 100,000 spirit stones was not a particularly large number for the Lu family. But is it about the money? This is glory, dignity, pretense, and fun. Lu Ruoan clearly felt that at this moment he was the center of attention, with countless pairs of eyes staring at him, filled with envy, jealousy, as well as deep reluctance and regret. He couldn't help but straighten his chest. Her chest was almost higher than Meng Qiuyu next to her. The corners of his mouth stretched straight to the back of his ears. Ahem, oh, your Chamber of Commerce is really too polite, ha ha ha. Lu Ruoan's face flushed and he rubbed his hands. He took the purple gold box and held it high so that everyone around him could see it clearly, especially Shi Yiming. He kept saying, how can this be so embarrassing? Contributing to charity is the duty of monks like me. On the edge, Meng Qiuyu looked at Lu Ruoan with more tenderness in her eyes. B*********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** his heart seemed to be bleeding, and he regretted it deeply. If I had known that the top of the Langya Foundation merit list would receive such treatment. There was no way he could have smashed those 1 million spirit stones into Penglai Cloud Sea. Damn Penglai Sea of clouds, you made me loveless. Lu Ruoan's universe-level communication symbol has not been opened. In his words, he was worried that someone would be jealous of his success and snatch it away from him along the way. The sarcastic tone made Shi Yiming even more angry. He vowed to work hard and become stronger. The Langya merit list is updated every 3 months, and he will definitely be the top one next time. It must be. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel. Chapter 71. After working so hard for so many years, can't I just enjoy myself? Lu Ruoan held a box containing a universe-level communication symbol in one hand. Holding Meng Chuyu's soft hand. Walking down the street with swagger, feeling the envy, attention and admiration of people around, with my back held straight. I just felt that my life reached its peak at this moment. However, this didn't last long. When he returned to the Lu family's ancestral land, he found that his grandfather, the current head of the Lu family, was waiting for him. "You're back." Lu Shiren turned around slowly, his eyes were cloudy and he couldn't see clearly. Grandpa, why are you here?" Lu Ruoan was a little nervous. "My grandfather has been in charge of this huge family for more than 100 years. Normally, just a glance from her is enough to make the younger members of the clan silent and filled with awe. Not to mention waiting for him here. Of course I'm waiting for you." Lu Shiren's eyes were full of kindness. "Wait for me." Lu Ruoan was flattered. His already dizzy heart suddenly became even more dizzy. Donating money to the Langya Foundation had already greatly improved his status in the family, and now it seems, even more so. Is this the universe-level Azure Dragon communication symbol? Lu Shiren stared at the box in Lu Ruoan's hand. "I heard that there is only this one in the entire Qingyan Islands." Lu Ruoan nodded proudly. "It is thanks to Grandpa's daily teachings that I was able to be given this communication charm." Although he was very proud, he still did not forget to flatter his grandfather. "You fart." Unexpectedly, Lu Shiren suddenly started cursing. Lu Ruoan was startled. "What?" Lu Shiren rolled his eyes. "Is this for you? Are you old and confused?" Shopkeeper Mu clearly said it was for my Lu family. Lu Ruoan didn't expect that his grandfather, who was not at the scene, knew the matter so well. His face suddenly turned red and white. "That was also because my grandson insisted on donating to the Langya Foundation." Lu Shiren snorted. "What's wrong with your donation? Did you donate the money you earned yourself?" Over the years, the food, clothing and other expenses of the hundreds of members of the Lu family were all earned by your grandfather with all his efforts, spirit stone at a time, right? Without me, can you donate those spirit stones? I have worked so hard for so many years, can't I just enjoy myself? After hearing this, Lu Ruoan was speechless. "Give it here," Lu Shiren said bluntly. Lu Ruoan stroked the box reluctantly, then handed it over with both hands respectfully and helplessly. Lu Shiren blew a breath into his palm, took it with both hands, and suddenly found it difficult to suppress the corners of his mouth. He waved his hands and said, "Okay, go ahead, there's nothing for you to do now." Lu Ruoan pursed his lips. It turns out that the old man was waiting for him here just to intercept him. But he didn't dare to say anything more and could only bow and leave. The Lu family is a nascent soul family. There were hundreds of direct descendants, plus some in-laws, slaves, and maids, a total of thousands of people. Yuxia Island, which has the strongest spirit vein in the Qingyan Islands. Lu Shiren held the box in his arms, unable to let it go, and hurriedly flew back to his bedroom in the core of the island. The box hasn't been opened yet. Suddenly, I saw a figure standing outside my door with his hands behind his back. That is Ancestor. Greetings, Ancestor. Lu Shiren hurried forward to salute. Lu Yin has skin as tender as a baby, white hair and a youthful face, and a melodious aura. He entered the nascent soul venerable realm at an early age, and he must be even more powerful now. When will the Ancestor come out of seclusion? Why didn't you notify us? Lu Shiren asked respectfully. Not long, thought I'd come out for some fresh air. Lu Yin said calmly, you did a good job. The Lu family is better now than it was back then. Lu Shiren hurriedly said, thank you for your praise, Ancestor. Suddenly, Lu Yin's eyes fell on the treasure box in his hand, and his eyes narrowed slightly. What is that? It's a communication symbol. Nonsense. Lu Yin frowned. When did the communication symbol become like this? I dare not deceive you, this is the new communication symbol released by the Langya Chamber of Commerce. Seeing that the old Ancestor was unhappy, Lu Shiren quickly told him everything he knew. After Lu Yin heard this, he showed a strange look in his eyes. Is that so? Bring it here for me to see. Lu Shiren's heart skipped a beat and he hesitated a little. Lu Yin frowned and said, young man, would I, your ancestor, steal your things? Lu Shiren thought so too and immediately handed the thing over. Lu Yin unsealed the box. Take out the Azure Dragon communication symbol. The whole body is purple gold, with a large number of black gold seal characters carved on the surface, making it look mysterious and noble. An Azure Dragon is coiled on its back, lifelike, and its eyes are embellished with scarlet crystals. Hiss, Lu Yin took a breath. Such a rare material is actually used to make a communication symbol. The Langya Chamber of Commerce is really rich. With his keen eyesight, he could naturally see it. Whether it is the metal used for the main body or the crystals dotted in the dragon's eyes, they are all extremely rare and precious materials. Even if he gets it, he has to keep it carefully, as it might be of great use in the future. He became more and more interested. Can't wait to input a ray of spiritual power. The communication symbol is activated. Thunderclouds suddenly surged overhead, as if heaven and earth were changing. A huge azure dragon as thick as a bucket slowly emerged from the clouds, its eyes glowing red as it roared at the sky and earth. It circled around Lu Shiren a few times, then quietly hovered behind him. It swam for a while from time to time, breathing gently through its mouth and nose, as if it were real. This azure dragon is more than 10 times larger than the Sun-class azure dragon. At first glance, it's like heavenly law shaping the earth, with terrifying power. Lu Yin moved his seal and used his magic power to form a water mirror to reflect himself. I couldn't help but raise my eyebrows. Looked around. There was an excitement in his eyes that was difficult to conceal. Handsome. So cool. No matter what age a man is or how many years he lives, there is always a mischievous side to him. It's just that it's usually suppressed by a more mature soul. It's hard to vent. At this moment, Lu Yin seemed to have found his younger self. Lu Shiren observed the expression on his face and immediately clapped his hands in praise. The old ancestor's aura is really like a towering mountain or an endless ocean. It is beyond our reach. Really? Lu Yin raised his eyebrows. Really? Ha ha ha. Lu Yin laughed heartily, and suddenly remembered something. You just said that there is only one of this thing in the entire Qingyan Islands. Exactly. Good. He pursed his lips, thought about it, and injected a breath into it. Azure Dragon roared and flew away into the air. There is such a good thing. Of course he would share it with his old friends as soon as possible. Purple Cloud Island, the second largest island in the Qingyan Islands. It is also the home of the Shi family, the only two nascent soul families. Now, in the forbidden area of Shi family, an old man was sitting cross-legged in cultivation. There was a gleam of light on his body. His aura was as deep as the ocean, and he gave off a powerful aura that was frightening and terrifying. Suddenly, a huge azure dragon shadow broke through the air and appeared in front of him without any warning. Opened its bloody mouth. The old man opened his eyes and saw this scene. His pupils instantly shrank to the size of green beans and he shouted, "My life is over." Chapter 72. There is a gap between azure dragon. In the forbidden area, Shi Fan, the ancestor of the Shi family, stared at the azure dragon in front of him for a long time before he suddenly felt something was wrong. Although it has both spirit and form. But he never felt the pressure and dangerous aura of a real divine beast from it. It seems to be just for show. What's going on? Just at this moment, a burst of wanton sneer came from the azure dragon. Old Ghost Shi, it's only been a few decades since we last met. How come you've become as timid as a mosquito? Ha ha ha. Old Lu, hear this sound. Shi Fan's brows instantly raised. He was very familiar with this voice. It was Lu Yin, the ancestor of the Lu family who had been against him all his life. You did this. Wow, my life is over. I'm so scared. Ha 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 ha. Azure Dragon bared its fangs and claws, and opened a picture, which showed the divine form of Lu Yin, who was imitating Shi Fan's previous reaction, making a very frightened expression, and then laughing mercilessly. Quote. Shi Fan's face turned pale, he gnashed his teeth, and was extremely ashamed and angry. Lu Lagu, what tricks are you playing? Lu Yin was calm and composed, smiling. What do you mean I'm playing tricks? I just haven't seen you for a long time and I missed you, so I used the communication symbol to chat with you. Communication symbol. Shi Fan frowned, then realized what Lu Yin said. Bullshit. Where in the world is there such a communication symbol? Lu Yin showed a sarcastic smile. You old antique, how long have you not been out in the world? This is the latest communication symbol in the world, jointly made by Langya Chamber of Commerce and Biming Sacred Land. Forget it, you won't understand even if I tell you, you're too stupid. You're the stupid one, your whole family is stupid. Shi Fan's mouth twitched. Lu Lagu, you are already hundreds of years old, why are you as childish as a naughty boy? It's just a communication talisman, is it worth it for you to show off in front of me? Hey, Lu Yin yelled, I didn't bully you, are you angry? Shi Fan, I'm sick. He spat and ended the communication with a flick of his sleeve. Huh, broken. Connect it back. Lu Yin looked at the disappearing screen and the azure dragon that had returned behind him, curled his lips, and initiated communication again. Roar. Azure Dragon broke through the void and appeared in front of Shi Fan again in a very short time. Shi Fan, are you done yet? Old Ghost Shi, I don't have any other intentions. I just want you to help me see if my dragon is big enough. Quote. Shi Fan's brows were bulging with veins, and he cut off the communication again. In order to prevent the other party from harassing him again, he directly made a hand seal and set up a restriction around his body. Get everything done. He closed his eyes and wanted to continue practicing. But for some reason, my heart could never calm down. Close your eyes. It was as if he could see a huge azure dragon, showing off its might in front of him. I have to say, even though that old dog is disgusting, this azure dragon is really handsome. Isn't it just a communication symbol? If you can buy it, why can't my Shi family buy it? Think of this. He gathered his divine thoughts and flew out. After a moment, Shi Chen, the current head of the Shi family, led the younger generation of the Shi family to the forbidden area, where they knelt together and welcomed the ancestor out of seclusion. Meet the ancestor. I heard that the Langya Chamber of Commerce has released a new communication symbol. Shi Fan waved his hand and looked down at Shi Chen and others. Communication symbol. Hearing this, Shi Chen was stunned for a moment, and subconsciously looked at the people around him. He was busy with clan affairs all day and didn't pay attention to these things. That's true. It just happened this day. The eldest elder of the Shi family whispered in the ear of the patriarch. Ancestor, yes, Shi Chen responded quickly. But I was confused in my heart. How could my ancestor, who had been in seclusion for many years, understand this kind of thing better than me? And he suddenly came out of seclusion and called them over for this purpose. Shi Fan waved his hand and said, send someone to buy it now. Remember, get the best. Hearing this, Shi Chen looked embarrassed. Ancestor, at this time, the Langya branch is probably closed. Shi Fan's brows furrowed instantly, and an extremely powerful pressure descended upon everyone in an instant. This made all the Shi family members silent. Oh no, the ancestor is unhappy. At the same time, in the crowd, Shi Yiming, who was originally kneeling on the ground, began to tremble all over when he heard the old ancestor's words. Communication symbol. He does. Although I don't know why the ancestor is suddenly interested in this, but, right now, when the ancestor is about to get angry, if I can stand up and meet his needs. Isn't that a great achievement? It's sent. Shi Yiming's heart was pounding, his lips were dry, and his eyes were red. He mustered up the courage to raise his head and shouted, Ancestor. Shi Fan was startled. Why are you so loud? I have it. What do you have? Communication symbol. Quote. Shi Fan's eyes lit up. Really? Bring it here. Shi Yiming immediately handed over the Sun-level Azure Dragon communication talisman that he had spent a huge amount of money to buy today. Shi Fan took it, turned it over and over in his hands, and looked at it several times. The more he looked at it, the more he liked it. It's really good. Ha, old man, I asked you to show off to me, who doesn't have it? Having said that, he ignored Shi Chen and the others and went back to the stone chamber where he was in seclusion. Take out the communication symbol. Input a breath of Lu Yin. Start communication. Soon, as the Azure Dragon's shadow broke through the air, a picture slowly unfolded in front of him. Lu Yin's figure slowly appeared in the picture. Shi Fan couldn't wait, he put his hands on his hips and laughed arrogantly. Lu Lagu, what do you think? It's just a communication symbol. Who doesn't have one? Are you still pretending? How is my dragon better than yours? Lu Yin on the opposite side did not speak. His eyes suddenly became strange, and then a strong sense of mockery emerged in the depths of his eyes. The smile on Shi Fan's face also faded. Realized something was wrong. Above the screen in front of me, two dragons stood facing each other. A thick and big one soars in the sky, accompanied by the sun, moon, stars and thunder. The other one was thin and short, and looked like a loach in front of the huge Azure Dragon. Ha. Lu Yin laughed so hard that tears and snot almost came out. Is this your dragon? Ha, are you going to make me laugh to death, old ghost Shi? With his laughter, the gigantic Azure Dragon also made a similar movement and roared towards the sky. And the loach stopped there, motionless, as silent as Shi Fan, quietly watching the giant dragon that was laughing so hard that it could not breathe. The corners of Shi Fan's mouth twitched for a long time, and the corners of his eyes twitched wildly. He raised his hand and slapped the chat screen to pieces. He walked out of the forbidden area with a gloomy face. Outside the forbidden area, the Shi family members continued to wait respectfully. Yiming, you did a great job this time. Shi Chen looked at Shi Yiming with satisfaction and praised him. Although I told you to buy the communication talisman, you did a great job. From now on, the salary of you and your parents in the clan will be doubled. If you have any other needs, please let me know. Quote. You told me to buy it. Shi Yiming was stunned for a moment, then quickly realized something and gritted his teeth in his heart. This old guy is trying to steal the credit. But he was not stupid. He knew that he had little influence and would not get any good results if he went against the head of the family. He could only force a smile and nod. It's all because of your good teaching. Shi Chen narrowed his eyes slightly, and seeing that he was so sensible, he showed satisfaction on his face and nodded. Not bad, you are not arrogant or impatient, you will definitely achieve something in the future, I am optimistic about you. Thank you for the praise, Patriarch. Shi Yiming responded with a smile, feeling extremely excited. This wave was really about to take off. Just at this moment, Shi Fan walked out with an expressionless face, his aura was cold and intimidating. Holding the Azure Dragon communication talisman in his hand, he glanced at everyone and asked, whose is this? Shi Chen observed the man's expression and instantly realized that something was wrong. The smile on his face quickly disappeared. He scolded with a cold face, Shi Yiming, the ancestor asked me a question, are you mute? Shi Yiming. Chapter 73 Sales Explosion. Ancestor, what happened? Shi Yiming looked at Shi Fan tremblingly and swallowed his saliva. What's wrong? Shi Fan had a cold face and threw the communication symbol at Shi Yiming, furious, you have embarrassed me. Shi Yiming was completely confused and didn't understand at all. Shi Fan asked angrily, why is your dragon so much smaller than others? Shi Yiming raised his eyebrows, small. Impossible, I bought the Sun class. Apart from the Universe class, this is the best. Shi Fan didn't understand the classification of Langya's new communication symbols. But after hearing what he said, I understood that it was indeed not the highest level. Why do you want to get rid of it? Why do you want to get rid of it? I'm asking you. Shi Fan stared at Shi Yiming, is it possible that the Shi family is only worthy of using inferior things? Aren't you afraid of being embarrassed by taking something like this out? Shi Yiming wanted to cry but had no tears. Grandmaster, it's not that I don't want to buy the best. But, I can't buy the universe-level communication talisman. I can only make an appointment first, queue up, and then wait slowly. You farted. Shi Fan was furious, why would the Lu family have it? Lu family. Shi Yiming was stunned for a moment, then reacted instantly and realized why the ancestor suddenly became furious. He pursed his lips and broke out in a cold sweat. Shi Chen questioned from the side, old ancestor asked you a question, why is the one the Lu family bought for you better than the one they bought for you? Because theirs was given by the Langya Chamber of Commerce, not bought. Quote question mark. As soon as these words came out, everyone was stunned. Ancestor Shi Fan's face also turned serious, what did you say? Was it sent by the Langya Chamber of Commerce? The power of the Shi family and the Lu family is already truly top-notch in this sea area. But in front of the Langya Chamber of Commerce, it is still insignificant. Could it be that during the years he was in seclusion, the Lu family had hooked up with a force like the Langya Chamber of Commerce? Otherwise, what qualifications does his Lu family have to ask the Langya Chamber of Commerce to give him things? What happened? Tell me from the beginning. Quote. Shi Yiming had no choice but to explain everything clearly, starting from donating to the Langya Foundation. After listening, Shi Fan's expression was uncertain, and he seemed to be slightly relaxed, but still very ugly. They were relaxed because things were not that bad and the Lu family had never had any connection with the Langya Chamber of Commerce. The pain is because the younger generation of our own family was severely outshined by the younger generation of the Lu family. Made the wrong choice. Got on the wrong bus. Stupid, short-sighted, good for nothing. Shi Fan stopped looking at Shi Yiming and stared at the current head of the family, Shi Chen, and yelled, is this the young generation you have cultivated over the years you have been in charge of the family? Shi Chen lowered his head and nodded repeatedly, cursing in his heart. When Shi Yiming invested in Penglai Yunhai Chamber of Commerce, he asked for his permission. Otherwise, how could Shi Yiming have the ability to mobilize millions of spirit stones? I didn't expect that, because of momentary confusion. As a result, he was angrily criticized by his ancestors. What if the ancestor is unhappy and directly revokes his position as the head of the family? Wouldn't that be the end of him? Damn Penglai Sea of Clouds. It really hurt me. I don't care what method you use, I want to see the best, highest level communication symbol in the shortest possible time. If you can't do that, you can quit being the head of this family. Shi Fan left after saying this. When Shi Chen saw the ancestor disappear from his sight, he slowly stood up and looked back at everyone with a stern face. What are you still standing there for? Didn't you hear what the ancestor said? Have all the tribesmen ready. Tomorrow morning, go to the Langya branch to queue up for reservations. Whoever can get a spot to purchase the universe-level communication talisman will be rewarded with 100,000 spirit stones. Yes. At the same time, Lu family. After the communication ends, Lu Yin played with the world-class Azure Dragon communication symbol with a smile on his face. He couldn't let it go and liked it more and more the more he looked at it. I've been at odds with that old guy all my life. It's been a long time since I slapped him in the face so happily. Cool. Ancestor. Lu Shiren called cautiously from the side. What's wrong? Lu Yin glanced at him. This communication symbol. Ah, the communication talisman is good, very good. I like it very much. Ha 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 ha. Lu Shiren's mouth twitched. I was thinking, you just said that you won't steal things from the younger generation. He was a little unwilling, and organized his words to smile and said, Grandmaster, you are too kind. It is also because of your good teaching that the Langya Chamber of Commerce was able to give me this communication symbol. He deliberately put emphasis on the word, I. Lu Yin was such an old fox that he certainly understood what Lu Shiren meant. He glanced at him for a while and said, Don't worry, how could I possibly steal your things? Lu Shiren breathed a sigh of relief, of course not. But, Lu Yin suddenly changed the subject. As the current patriarch, you should be low-key and steady, so that you can lead the family to prosperity. Although this thing is good, it is too extravagant and too ostentatious. It is not suitable for you to carry with you. I will keep it for you for a while, and when you step down as the clan leader, I will return it to you. Lu Shiren. Damn it. He was unwilling in his heart, but looking at the old ancestor's unquestionable expression, he didn't dare to say a word of no. I could only take one last reluctant look at the communication symbol. The last 2 glances. The last 3 eyes. All right, stop looking. The dignified clan leader is acting like a child. This is outrageous. Get down. Yes. Langya Chamber of Commerce. Headquarters. In a huge room, crowds of figures shuttled back and forth, shoulder to shoulder, busy all the time. The sound of clothes rubbing against each other and the sound of discussions echoed everywhere. The communication symbols of the Tianhuang Island branch are sold out. Requesting the headquarters to restock them. How much? They said at least 100,000, the more the better. 100,000? How can there be so much? I can only give you 20,000 at most. Chongzong Island is also sold out, requesting a restock of 200,000. Nima, this is even more cruel. If he doesn't have 200,000, he can only get 50,000 at most. Walk through a crowded area. In a room equipped with a soundproof formation. The quarrel was equally loud. Give those universe-level communication symbols to our Southwest Division first. Why? Our Northeast Division wants it too. We have many large islands in the Southwest region, and those monks are rich and willing to spend. They said they are willing to double the price to buy a universe-level communication symbol. You dare to ask for 1 times. Several island owners here are asking for 5 times or more, and 2 are even asking for 10 times more. What is that? When the leaders heard this, they were dumbfounded. No, are these people crazy? 180,000 for a communication symbol is already very expensive, doubling it is not enough, but 10 times it. They find it hard to understand. Although the communication symbol launched by the company this time is indeed good looking and the material is far better than ordinary ones. But, it's just a communication symbol after all. For those powerful people in the world of cultivation, what treasure have they not seen? Are you going to fight for a communication symbol? Just at this moment, a silver bell rang outside the door. A person in charge pressed on the wall, and the formation at the door opened a passage. A deacon of the Chamber of Commerce walked in quickly, wiped the sweat from his forehead, and said, Masters, we are out of stock. Ren Pingsheng was stunned for a moment, frowned and asked, What did you say? The deacon repeated, out of stock. All the communication symbols stockpiled by the headquarters have been sold out, but requests for replenishment from all over the country are still pouring in. Another person in charge widened his eyes and said, 1 million communication symbols, all gone. The deacon nodded and said, not a single one is left. In addition, the number of pre-ordered universe-level communication symbols has exceeded 100,000. Chapter 74 I want a lot, and I get a lot. The room suddenly fell into silence. This time, only 1 million communication symbols were made in total. Among them, the total number of world-class ones is only 20,000. However, it's only been one day. Not only were all the communication symbols sold out, the number of people who had paid a deposit and were lining up to purchase the universe-level communication symbols exceeded 100,000. No, are there so many rich people in Beihai? A person in charge couldn't help but mutter to himself. They run the Chamber of Commerce. It is very clear about the wealthy families in Beihai in which area has a high consumption level and which area has a low consumption level. But even I have never seen such a crazy scene. The price of a universe-level communication talisman is 108,888, and this is just a communication talisman. Don't you guys treat the spirit stone as a spirit stone? Ren Pingsheng took a deep breath and analyzed. 100,000 orders may not necessarily mean 100,000 people. Given how popular our communication symbols are right now, there will definitely be people who want to stockpile them on a large scale and then sell them at a high price. Immortal cultivation world, with strict hierarchy. With every step up in strength, the power and resources that can be controlled will increase dozens or hundreds of times. An ordinary cultivator might not be able to afford a universe-level communication symbol in his entire life. But the person who is willing to spend so much money to buy a communication symbol can definitely not only afford one. For those immortal cultivation sects and families that have accumulated experience for hundreds or thousands of years, the spirit stone is just a number. The things that money can't buy are the most precious. It seems that we have underestimated the competitive spirit of those monks. Young master, you are a master of foresight. You must have anticipated this scenario long ago, which is why you set the prices of these communication symbols so high. Ren Pingsheng sighed sincerely. Everyone nodded in agreement. At the beginning, when they received Wang Emu's requirements and a series of settings, they thought that such an expensive communication symbol would surely be purchased by very few people. But the current situation, it really was a slap in their face. Young master is truly a hidden dragon. He has been keeping a low profile for the past few years, but now that he has made a few moves, he has made us feel ashamed of ourselves. Another person in charge also sighed. At this moment, there were only a few of them present. Nalan Rongyan and others were not there, and Wang Xiu was not there either. When they say such things, they naturally have no intention of flattering others. But it comes from the heart. This time, from the early production and design of the communication symbol to the subsequent promotion, sale and reservation. Almost all the processes were planned by Wang Xiu. They just followed the instructions and carried them out one by one. As a result, everyone saw it. The stuff couldn't be selling any better. Just this once, the revenue of Langya Chamber of Commerce is estimated to reach an unimaginably huge number. Everyone, don't be sentimental yet. The warehouse is out of stock now. We have to contact the Beiming Sacred Land Weapon Refining Pavilion immediately and speed up the refining of another batch. Let me go. Ren Pingsheng said, by the way, I'll go and ask the young master about the follow-up matters. Sold out. Wang Xiu was still consolidating his realm in Luo Xuanzhuang's palace in the sacred land of Beiming. After hearing the report that Ren Pingsheng brought with Ni Tingting, he was a little surprised. It seems, the spending power of the cultivation world is stronger than I thought. He was confident that the communication talisman would not be difficult to sell, and it was only a matter of time before it became popular. But the smoothness with which things went on was somewhat unexpected. In just one day, millions of communication symbols were sold out. This speed, it's just scary. Especially the large number of orders for universe-level communication symbols made Wang Xiu speechless. Young master, now that the stock is exhausted, should we contact the weapon refining pavilion and rush to make another batch? All the branches are under a lot of pressure right now. The doors are almost broken down by the number of people coming to make reservations. Ren Pingsheng asked. Wang Xiu nodded and said, yes. Later, Ting, come with me to meet the great master of the weapon refining pavilion. You should pay more attention to the contact with this place in the future. Ni Ting said hurriedly, yes, young master. Wang Xiu then explained, Chen Star, Hao Yu, and Yaori grades can be mass-produced to meet the needs of all practitioners at all times. But the universe class doesn't need it. Currently, a stable output of 10,000 pieces per month is enough. When Ren Pingsheng heard this number, his eyelids twitched. 10,000. Young master, this is far from enough. What you want is not enough. Wang Yu laughed and said, things are valuable because they are rare. People always think that things that need to be snatched are valuable. If everyone has one, it will be worthless. There are 3 levels of communication symbols, Chengxing, Haoyu and Yaori, which serve as popular tools. This is available in unlimited quantities. Sell as much as you want. The more people who have it, the better, as it will make it easier for Wang Yu late stage to launch a series of business plans around the communication symbol. As for the universe level, its functionality is actually no different from other levels. Its function is to ensure that the communication symbol of Langya brand always maintains a high level of popularity and attention. At the same time, it also has a certain publicity effect. Ren Pingsheng nodded with a hint of understanding, and then continued, young master, there are many forces currently trying to hoard our universe-level communication symbols and sell them at high prices. Are we going to do something about it? It's normal for scalpers to do this. Luxury goods without scalpers are not luxury goods. What's so great? Ni Tingting was stunned. They are middlemen. Wang Yu briefly introduced them and said after a moment's hesitation, don't pay too much attention to them. Their existence may not be a bad thing for us. Good. Then, Ren Pingsheng said goodbye. Wang Yu brought Ni Tingting to the weapon refining pavilion area of Forging God Island. Along the way, when many disciples saw them, they had complicated looks in their eyes and kept whispering. Young Master Wang is here again. It was him last time, right? He asked us to help make 1,000,000 communication symbols. I almost fainted. Having said that, it is tiring, but the money earned is really high. Shut up, you're depraved. Quote. Senior sister, I'm busy. Wang Yu walked in with a smile on his face and closed the door. Sha Yaoyao panicked when she saw Wang Yu, and remembered some bad things. Why are you here again? Wang Yu smiled and said, of course I'm sending you business. Sha Yaoyao gnashed her teeth and said, junior brother, I helped you last time because we were in trouble and needed some money. But our weapon refining pavilion is different from the forging workshops outside. Do you get me? Wang Yu nodded. I understand. You guys are doing research, but research is also a money-burning job. How much did you make last time? Is it enough to last you a few days? Sha Yaoyao took a deep breath. Anyway, we won't do that again. Wang Yu said, think about it again. Sha Yaoyao shook her head. Don't think about it. I have to be responsible for the weapon refining pavilion and all the junior brothers and sisters in the pavilion. We can't let them go astray. Wang Yu said, I want a lot this time. 10 million is a base, and the unit price will be increased by 30% from the previous price. As soon as these words came out, Sha Yaoyao was silent for a moment. Even if I am willing, my fellow junior brothers and sisters are not willing. Bang! The door was pushed open and a group of young faces rushed in. Nonsense. Yes, we do. Great master, please agree to his request. Quote. Sha Yaoyao. Chapter 75 Penglai Plan, cutting off the foundation of Langya. Brother Zhang, sister Xu, please stay. Oh, I've already told you, why call me senior brother or sister? It's too formal. Just call me Xiao Zhang. How inappropriate is that? What's inappropriate about that? We are just 200 years older than you. It's no big deal. Brother Lai Mu, watch your step and be careful of the stairs. Quote. On the God Forging Island. A group of disciples from the weapon refining pavilion surrounded Wang Yu and walked out, each with a sincere smile on their face. Then, we'll leave first. Please stay. Okay. Drive slowly and remember to come play often, Brother Mu. The weapon refining pavilion disciples waved their hands and watched Wang Yu and Ni Tingting ride on the golden lion, fly into the sky, and disappear from sight. Senior brother Zhang, who was in the lead, stroked his beard and praised, Brother Mu is really handsome. How come we didn't notice him before? A disciple said, indeed, especially when he waved his hand and said that the unit price would be increased by 30% and that he would give everyone a labor allowance. It was so cool. It took Sister Xu a while to come back to her senses. She pursed her lips and said, 10 million pieces. After this deal is done, we will have money, right? Be more confident. Senior brother Zhang straightened his clothes, held his head high and said, that's quite rich. At this time, Sha Yaoyao walked out expressionlessly and looked at them with disdain. You are so useless, can you be bought off with just a little money? Senior brother Zhang said pitifully, junior sister, you are the pavilion master's true disciple, you have never been poor. We are so poor that I applied to the pavilion master for research funding 30 years ago, but it has not been approved yet. Senior Sister Shu also said, "Me too. I am in charge of the research on using the 5 Thunder formation to improve the Thunder Stick and help the Great Master Sisters and Junior Sisters to have a better experience, but I have only completed half of it so far. The money is too little, those young apprentice sisters are unwilling to come, the delicate-skinned ones can't stand it. And me too. My fully automatic invincible Hot Wheel is also in need of experimental subjects. Most of the brothers and sisters are too shy to do it. They won't do it if they don't get enough money, so they are stuck there." "Stop." Sha Yaoyao looked upset and glanced at her fellow disciples. "I am not interested in your research at all. But now that we have accepted the order from Langya Chamber of Commerce, we must do it well. We must not destroy the reputation of Weapon Refining Pavilion in order to rush the progress. Otherwise, the cabinet rules will be followed." "Yes." Everyone else dispersed. "Senior Sister Lu, please come in for a moment. I think there may be some problems with your research. Let's discuss it." Quote question mark question mark question mark quote. Comma comma. At the same time, Yunlai Chamber of Commerce headquarters. On the desk, 4 communication symbols were quietly placed. They were obviously produced by Langya Chamber of Commerce, Azure Dragon, White Tiger, Vermilion Bird, Black Tortoise, all the same. One of them is Chen Star level, one is Haoyu level, and 2 are Yaori level. "Tell us all." Tang Qian tapped the table lightly with one hand and spoke. Go Anshi was the first to say, "It's ordinary. Apart from the better-looking shape and some cool but useless lights and shadows, it's nothing special in terms of practicality." Lu Yanshuang said, "Our Yungang Chamber of Commerce's Mo Gongfeng has already looked at it, and the answer he got is the same as yours. That is to say, these communication symbols are made of higher-level materials and have a stronger texture, but this is of no help at all to the function of the communication symbols themselves." Tang Qian stopped tapping the table and picked up a communication symbol. For such a small thing, Langya Chamber of Commerce dares to sell it for tens of thousands of spirit stones, and it actually sells very well. Go Anshi pondered and said, "I heard that this thing was made by the young master of the Wang family." Lu Yanshuang pursed her lips and said sincerely, "I have to admit that this young master of the Wang family is good at making unexpected moves. We can't take it lightly." Tang Qian smiled and said, "It's a pity that having many ideas is not enough to do business. Since this thing is not difficult, if they can do it, we can do it too." Go Anshi nodded and said with a smile, "At present, it can be seen that most of the cultivators are very enthusiastic about this new type of communication symbol, but the output of Langya Chamber of Commerce is obviously not enough. This piece of meat, his family can't eat it all, we can help." Lu Yanshuang said, "The reason why their communication symbols are selling so well is that they use the level division to arouse the desire to compete with each other among the practitioners. Then deliberately reduce output to cause a scramble. We can make it look more fancy than theirs, while replacing the expensive materials to save costs, and then be like them and differentiate ourselves." Go Anshi nodded and said, "Yes, it's just a communication symbol. It doesn't need such good materials, nor does it require high forging skills. The cost can be saved. An ordinary forge is enough to make it. In this way, our profit margin will definitely be greater than theirs." The more they talked, the more excited they became. They felt that the sky and the sea were vast before them, and countless spirit stones were waving at them. Tang Qian tapped the table lightly, and the 2 of them quieted down. "We have to make money, but don't forget our main goal. I heard that the first batch of 1 million communication symbols released by the Langya Chamber of Commerce was sold out within a day. According to this trend, if they come a few more times, they will be able to have a large number of spirit stones in their hands and restore their vitality. In this case, all the crackdowns and measures we took against the Langya Chamber of Commerce in the past few years will be in vain." The smile on Go Anshi's face faded slightly, and he became more serious. "What does Mr. Tang mean?" Tang Qian nodded. "We have to be faster. And the price must be cheaper than theirs. After all, there are more practitioners without money in this world. The more miserable a person's life is, the more he hates the rich. Doesn't Wang Xiu like to accumulate word of mouth? We control most of the practitioners who cannot afford the high-priced communication symbols, and then encourage them to spread the high-priced and low-priced Langya communication symbols." Hear this. Go Anshi and Lu Yanshuang looked at each other and both felt a numbness in their hearts. This Tang Qian has such a vicious mind. Previously, the 2 companies opened foundations at the same time, and in that battle, Yunlai Yunhai was defeated completely. Tang Qian is holding a grudge and wants to swing his hoe to shake the foundation of Langya's reputation. A bad person does evil things all his life, and then he occasionally does one good thing, and people suddenly think that he is not so bad. A good person does good things all his life, but if he does one bad thing, half of his good deeds will be in vain. As long as this plan succeeds. This confirms a stain on the Langya Chamber of Commerce. Even though the Langya Foundation has saved many people and done many good things, it still cannot influence the countless grassroots practitioners who criticize it. After all, I bought a high-level communication symbol from the Langya Chamber of Commerce, but it feels really good to slap someone in the face. But the person who was being scolded must be very unhappy. If you have money to buy a high-level one, it's fine. But if you don't have money, then it will be very unpleasant and you can only vent your anger in other ways. What this world lacks the least is poor monks without money. What? You said Langya Chamber of Commerce also has affordable prices. Also has communication symbols that cost over 100 spirit stones. Who cares? Who made him get bitten? Who made him want better but not get it? Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel. Chapter 76. In our Chamber of Commerce, the young master has the final say. After a few days of fermentation, the monks' pursuit of new communication symbols has not weakened, but has become more fanatical. There's no way, I've been hissed too many times and too often. Even many monks who claim that they have a firm faith in Taoism and are not moved by external things. After seeing that many monks around him with lower cultivation than himself were carrying an extremely cool communication symbol on their bodies, causing an uproar and envious looks wherever they went, my heart began to waver. What is the purpose of practicing? Immortality. That's one aspect, and there's so little that can actually be done. Even if I could live for hundreds of years. But it can't be considered immortality. Furthermore, there are very few people who can truly practice unwaveringly for the illusory belief of immortality. For the vast majority of low-level practitioners, the purpose of spiritual practice is very simple, which is to strengthen yourself, not be bullied by others, and then bully men and women. Even if they don't bully men or women, they must be superior to the weak, receive the faith and worship of countless people, and be the center of attention. That's the reality. It is also happiness and satisfaction that is within reach. And now, many people who are weaker than you can get similar effects just by buying a communication talisman. How can they accept this? After years of hard training, it seems like a joke now. Then, after a period of mental struggle, more and more monks are joining the ranks in the pursuit of new communication symbols. What? Langya branch is out of stock. Want to make an appointment? Buy it directly from others. You bought it for 188 spirit stones, and I want to buy it for 500 spirit stones. Will you sell it? You bought it for more than 1,000 spirit stones, and I bought it for 10,000 spirit stones. Isn't that treating you unfairly? You said that more than 10,000 plus a little more would be enough to buy the Sun Level 1. Excuse me, that thing can't be bought for more than 10,000 now. It would take at least 50,000 or 60,000 spirit stones. And there are several hands. The same thing. For a monk, when his cultivation level reaches a higher level, the rights he gains and the resources he can control are vastly different. A high-level monk can easily produce hundreds or thousands of times more spirit stones than a low-level monk. Then, under this disgusting and popular atmosphere, the prices of Langya brand communication symbols of all models and grades began to soar. Especially on the black market. The price has already soared to more than 10 times the price listed by Langya. And it's out of control. The most terrifying one is the universe-level communication symbol. There are few of these things. The control rights are all in the hands of Langya headquarters, and it has never appeared in any branch since the beginning of sales. Except for the batch that was pre-ordered earliest, you can be sure to get the goods. Subsequently, what you pay for is just a number. 30,000 spirit stones, 86,000 reserved serial numbers for the universe-level vermilion bird communication symbol. A trading market somewhere. A practitioner held up a sign and shouted loudly. Soon, a large group of people gathered around. Fellow Taoist, your serial number is not even in the top 50,000. Isn't it too expensive? A female monk frowned and said. Is this still expensive? Fairy, you can go and ask around. The numbers are already ranked at 150,000 or 160,000. My 80,000 is already pretty high. Make it cheaper. My master will be celebrating her 1000th birthday in 2 years, and I plan to buy this as a birthday gift for her. If you make it cheaper, I'll take it. It's really not cheap, Fairy. It's not easy for me to get an account. I paid 5,000 spirit stones as a deposit. It's not worth it for me to sell it cheaply. Quote. Similar scenes can be found everywhere here. Communication symbols are so popular right now. Just a front reservation number can be sold at a high price. The further forward you go, the higher the price. If it is ranked before 20,000, it can sell for hundreds of thousands of spirit stones. Why? Because the first 20,000 are in stock and can be obtained quickly. After that, you will have to wait at least a month. Even several years is possible. Although practitioners have plenty of time, the waiting process is always difficult. When I thought about the fact that I didn't get the communication talisman I wanted, it was hard for me to calm down and concentrate. Kangyu Island. A large island in the North Sea. It is ruled by a soul formation level force mysterious heaven sect. Today the island is bustling with activity. Because it is the 2000th birthday of the leader of the mysterious heaven sect, Taoist Master Xuanchang. Soul formation monks can live for 3,000 years. Lifespan occurs once every 2,000 years, and for such a person, it is also a very memorable day. As a result, all the forces, island owners, and slightly famous monks in the sea area within a radius of hundreds of thousands of miles came to congratulate. At that time, above the sea, fairy rainbows broke through the air, brilliant and dazzling, like shooting stars, making people's blood boil. It's like thousands of immortals coming to pay homage. Qingyan Yuxia Island, Lu Yin of the Lu family has come to pay his respects to the Taoist Master Xuanchang, wishing him a long life, hope that he can see through the mundane world and become an immortal as soon as possible. Lu Yin handed the carefully prepared gift to the mysterious heaven sect disciples who were waiting outside the hall. Then, led by a beautiful female cultivator, he entered the hall and sat down in a position closer to the front. After all, he is the long-established nascent soul period venerable. Even in such an occasion, there is also a certain appearance. The seats aren't too far back. At this time, a voice sounded. Manager Zhou from the Langya Chamber of Commerce has arrived. As soon as these words were spoken, the whole place fell silent. Almost all the monks subconsciously stood up to greet him. The 10 leaders of the Langya Chamber of Commerce are equivalent to provincial governors. Not only is each of their cultivation levels above soul formation, but their status and voice far exceed those of ordinary soul formation practitioners. Master Zhou has come in person. It is a great honor for mysterious heaven sect. A hearty laugh could be heard over the hall. A figure broke through the void and came. He had white hair, but a youthful face, and exuded an unfathomable aura. It was the leader of mysterious heaven sect, Taoist Master Xuanchang. Ordinary guests were naturally not qualified to be received by him in person. But the head of Langya Chamber of Commerce came. Naturally different. Zhou Ping bowed and smiled. It's the Taoist Master's 2000th birthday. It's such an important day, we should come and celebrate. As he spoke, he raised his hand, and a piece of extremely precious blood ruyi appeared in front of him. Someone who knows the value of the jade immediately recognized that this is the priceless dragon blood jade ruyi, a precious material for making supreme-grade spirit weapon, which is extremely rare. The Langya Chamber of Commerce is indeed wealthy and powerful. It's just a small gift. I wish you longevity and early immortal ascension. Master Zhou, you are too polite. Come on, please take a seat. Master, please. The two parties took their seats at the same time, followed by a round of greetings. As we were chatting, something suddenly came up. Boss Zhou, the new communication tokens that your Langya Chamber of Commerce has recently released are really in great demand. Taoist Xuanchang said with a hint of meaning. Oh, Zhou Ping smiled. Master, are you also interested in this little thing? It's no use being interested. I ordered my disciples to make an order for me to buy a universe-level communication talisman, but the queue is over 100,000 people. But you have to wait for a while. Taoist Master Xuanchang smiled and shook his head. Zhou Ping heard the other party's hidden meaning and smiled. Master, you are so supportive of our Langya Chamber of Commerce. Langya Chamber of Commerce is grateful. It's a pity that this universe-level communication talisman is made of special materials and has extraordinary workmanship. Even the Biming Sacred Land Weapon Refining Pavilion can only produce a very small amount each month. If not, I would definitely bring one here to celebrate the Taoist Master's birthday. Hearing this, Taoist Master Xuanchang frowned slightly, somewhat unconvinced. With Master Zhou's status, can't he even make a decision on a communication talisman? Zhou Ping laughed and shook his head when he heard this. Not to mention that I am just a person in charge. Even if I were the president, it would be useless for me to say anything about this matter. What does this mean? The person in charge of all matters concerning the communication talisman is the young master of our Langya Chamber of Commerce. The young master has already said that the sale of communication talismans must abide by the rules. Hearing this, Taoist master Xuanchang was speechless. I've heard that the young master of the Wang family is loved by everyone, and it's true. His words carry more weight in the Langya Chamber of Commerce than the president. But no matter what, at this point, his plan to obtain a universe-level communication symbol through Zhou Ping has come to nothing. There was no concealment in their communication. So the monks nearby, although seemingly indifferent, were actually listening to their conversation and were deeply moved. The world-class communication symbol of Langya Chamber of Commerce is indeed precious. Even a Dao Lord-level figure could not obtain it by asking for it personally through connections. I suddenly felt a great sense of balance in my heart. I feel that it is reasonable to pay a high price for this. Only Lu Yin's expression suddenly became nervous. He subconsciously pressed the universe-level Azure Dragon communication symbol hanging on his waist, wanting to put it into the storage law treasure. He knew it was precious. But I didn't expect it to be so precious. The soul formation stage is something that even the Taoist master wants but cannot obtain. If he were to reveal it at this moment, he would be in trouble. However, just at this moment, the communication symbol on his waist suddenly glowed brightly, and an azure dragon flew out, dancing above the hall, roaring, and summoning endless thunder with tremendous power. Lu Yin's face suddenly turned pale. Suddenly I felt something. However, not far away on the opposite side, Shi Fan, the ancestor of the Shi family, was staring at him with a gloating look on his face and raised the communication token in his hand. Chapter 77. What gold core has? I don't have it. Wow. The whole audience was in an uproar. All the discussions disappeared at this moment. Instead, it turned into sounds of exclamations and gasps. Could this strange phenomenon be the legendary universe-level communication symbol? It is indeed much more dazzling than the Sun class. That's the ancestor of the Lu family from Qingyan Islands. How could a nascent soul family get a universe-level communication symbol? Maybe they were lucky and bought it early. Tisk tisk, this guy really has no vision. Taoist master Xuanchang just said that he asked for a universe-level communication talisman but couldn't get one. If he takes it out now, wouldn't that be a slap in the face of Taoist master? I don't think the Qingyan Lu family can survive any longer. Quote. Many people looked at Lu Yin with gloating eyes and shook their heads with emotion. With the power of mysterious heaven sect, there is no need for Taoist master Xuanchang to give any order, as countless cultivators will target the Lu family in order to curry favor with them. Although the Lu family is one of the most powerful forces in the Qingyan Islands. But what does it matter in front of the mysterious heaven sect? Lu Yin looked very unhappy. The old ghost Shi Fan actually took the opportunity to assassinate him. They discovered it last time when the two of them were talking using the communication symbol. When two parties hold the Langya communication symbol at the same time, when one party initiates a call, the vision of the other party's communication symbol will be automatically activated, creating a certain interactive scene. For example, double dragon entanglement, dragon tiger fight, dragon phoenix resonance and so on. And when one party's communication symbol level is higher than the other, it will show an extremely obvious gap, thereby stimulating the monk's inner desire to compare. This is the function that the communication symbol had when it was first designed. Nowadays, Shi Fan took advantage of this and completely exposed Lu Yin's universe-level communication symbol to all cultivators. He was quite flustered and brushed away the strange phenomenon caused by the communication. I want to store the communication symbol in the law treasure. But it was too late. High place. Taoist master Xuanchang's gaze fell silently, but it seemed to contain a terrifying divine power, which made Lu Yin tremble all over, break out in cold sweat, and his face turned pale. Which monk are you from? Taoist master Xuanchang spoke slowly, his voice neither hurried nor slow, and no emotion could be heard from it. Lu Yin quickly stood up and bowed respectfully. Qingyan Islands, Lu family, Lu Yin pays respect to the Taoist master. Hearing this unfamiliar name, Taoist Xuanchang said expressionlessly, it seems that you have a good chance, much better than me. Hearing this, Lu Yin trembled even more, his lips turned pale, and he didn't know how to explain it. Are you going to take this opportunity to present this item to the Taoist master? What if the Taoist master says, how could I take away someone else's favor? Wouldn't that be even more disastrous? But if you say nothing, that will also be a dead end. Just as he was racking his brains to think of a response strategy, Zhou Ping suddenly focused his eyes and asked, I wonder if I can borrow your communication symbol to take a look. Lu Yin was slightly startled, and quickly took off the communication symbol and presented it with both hands. Of course, of course. Zhou Ping raised his hand and the communication symbol flew into his hand. He looked at it carefully for a moment and nodded, so that's it. Taoist Xuanchong looked puzzled. Master Zhou, what's wrong? Zhou Ping smiled and said, this Lu family's universe-level communication symbol was not bought with a spirit stone, but was given to me by my Chamber of Commerce. Oh, Master, have you ever heard of the foundation created by my Chamber of Commerce? I've heard something about it. Your Chamber of Commerce is compassionate and willing to pay a huge price to save the world from suffering. I admire that very much. Taoist Master Xuanchong nodded. When the communication talismans were on sale, the young master specifically instructed to reserve a batch of world-class communication talismans and give them to the top of the merit lists of each major region to show the fellow Taoists of the world their strong support for the charitable cause of Our Langya Foundation. Zhou Ping explained, each of these communication symbols has a mark on it. Taoist Master, please take a look. Taoist Master Xuanchong looked at the location where Zhou Ping's finger was. It was a special mark. When he probed his spiritual sense into it, he could see a string of characters. A special gift to thank the Qingyan Lu family for their strong support for my foundation's charitable work. Taoist Master Xuanchong retracted his gaze and said in surprise, the one who tops the merit list can also be given a communication talisman. Zhou Ping nodded, that's right. Taoist Xuanchong said, how much should I donate to the Langya Foundation to get the top spot? People of this level usually ignore worldly affairs and are immersed in comprehending the great Tao. How could he know about something like the foundation which had nothing to do with him? Zhou Ping knew this very well, so he calmly explained, our foundation does not accept direct donations. If the Taoist master is interested, he can ask the disciples in the sect to support the Chamber of Commerce's business more often, and then, purchase supplies in the name of the Taoist master or the sect. There are still 2 months until the next ranking change, so it should be in time. I see. Taoist Master Xuanchong understood and gave an order to the side. From now on, all my disciples who buy materials needed for cultivation should go to Langya Chamber of Commerce. All of them should report the name of the sect. Yes, Master. Taoist Xuanchong's eyes fell on the communication symbol in Zhou Ping's hand again, and a hint of enthusiasm appeared in his eyes. This new communication symbol from your Chamber of Commerce is really exciting. Especially this world-class one, which is just suitable for our status. Listen to these words. Lu Yin quickly reacted and said, if you like it, you can keep this communication talisman and play with it. I don't need it normally anyway. Taoist Master Xuanchong narrowed his eyes slightly, and was slightly moved, but still shook his head. Since the Langya Chamber of Commerce gave your Lu family a treasure, how can my mysterious heaven sect take it for itself? If you don't know the origin of this communication symbol. That's all. But since Zhou Ping had explained it to him in person, it would be a bit hot to keep the communication talisman. In other words, the Langya Chamber of Commerce's gift of this communication token to the Lu family was almost an acknowledgement of the Lu family's status as a major customer of the Langya Chamber of Commerce. No matter who is trying to get this communication symbol, it is inevitable that there will be suspicion of ignoring the Langya Chamber of Commerce. Even if we take a step back, if the treasure donated by the Langya Chamber of Commerce caused the Lu family to be targeted, they might even be destroyed. The Langya Chamber of Commerce was also embarrassed. Cultivating immortals is said to be about escaping from the mundane world, but before you can truly transcend the mundane world and achieve transcending tribulation ascension, you still have to cultivate the ways of the world. All the monks who can live for so many years are smart. You will understand this if you think about it for a while. It's not a good deal to risk offending the Langya Chamber of Commerce for a communication token. The mysterious heaven sect's birthday was just an insignificant episode. But it is also a microcosm of the entire Beihai cultivation world. In the next few days, the business of the many branches of Langya Chamber of Commerce is becoming more prosperous than before. In the past, it was mostly small and medium-sized sects or families that would compete for a place on the local merit list. But now, the forces in the soul formation stage also began to take action. Chapter 78. It's over. The sky is falling. For those big guys in Immortal cultivation world, there are some things they can do without, but they can't live without. This is especially true for things that show status and cannot be bought even with the spirit stone. Only in this way can they be worthy of their status. But now, even a group of nascent souls and even gold core monks may have the universe-level communication talisman, but they can't get it. Is this reasonable? So, when they learned that after ranking first on the merit list of each major region, they would receive a special universe-level communication symbol. Suddenly I couldn't sit still anymore. They mobilized all the forces they could. In just a few days, the value of the original merit lists of each major region has been raised to a shocking level. Tianhuang Island, Langya Foundation headquarters. Outside the gate, stands a forest of steles. The piece in the middle is the tallest, and is made entirely of 1,000-year-old sea heart jade mixed with special spiritual gold. The 4 words "infinite merits" are written on the front. And around it are dozens of relatively short stone tablets. The stone tablet is densely packed with countless characters engraved on it, reflecting the real-time situation of each Langya semicolon's merit list, which is changing every moment. This is not the final list. It is just to make it convenient for all benefactors to clearly understand their current merits and their specific positions on the rankings in various regions. Wait for 3 months. The final ranking is the final list. The morning light is breaking. The golden sunlight shines on the forest of steles, and the hazy halo keeps flickering, like the golden light of merit, quite dazzling. A large number of monks gathered in front of these steles, looking at the information on them, and marveled at them. Over 1 million, right. It broke 1 million yesterday. These big sects are really rich. Millions of merits means hundreds of millions of spirit stones have been invested. Those forces above soul formation have disciples that are mostly powerful, and the quality of the materials they need is beyond our reach, so the price is naturally higher. Indeed, I also heard that forces such as the mysterious Heaven sect have also ordered their affiliated islands and sects to report the name of the main sect when they go to the Langya Chamber of Commerce to purchase supplies. With such a huge number of cultivators working together, it's no wonder that the number of merits on this merit list has skyrocketed. Quote. In the crowd, Yang Juzi, Chu Yucheng and other leaders of local sects on Tianhuang Island had complicated expressions. Especially Yang Juzi. His face was filled with relief. Fortunately, we acted early and won the first 3 spots on the merit list. We are just lucky that the young master chose Tianhuang Island as the headquarters of the foundation. Otherwise, how could we have gotten this good thing? It's no exaggeration to say. Ranked in the top 3 of the Langya Foundation's merit list. During this period of time, it has brought unimaginable benefits to their sect. Basically all the cultivators have to give face to any disciple under their name when they move around in the surrounding sea area. The reputation is so good. Every time the foundation provides disaster relief, their good name will spread. There were also many cultivators who had been famous for a long time. After hearing about the good deeds of the major sects, they were impressed and came from afar, wanting to become disciples of them. You know, among the top 3, the one who spent the most, Yang Juzi, only spent more than 800,000 low-grade spirit stones. This number is quite a lot for their sect. But if it were today, we wouldn't even be at the bottom of the list. Many sects with more ancient heritages saw that they could not compete with the old soul formation level forces in their own areas. So they extended their hands to areas like Tianhuang Island, where the competitive pressure was not great. If you spend money here, you can also make the list. Although Tianhuang Island also has soul formation level forces. But the ancestor of the Li family is a popular figure around the young master of Langya, and it is said that he has already been granted a universe-level communication talisman, so there is no need to fight for it. Naturally, there is one less opponent. It immediately became the first choice for many soul formation level forces and independent cultivators that lacked foundation. Spend spirit stone desperately to top the charts. The competitive pressure on this list instantly became extremely huge. What the hell? Chu often cursed. He was jealous of the Ninyang sect's #1 position on the merit list and wanted to surpass it before the next list change. But now, what the hell are you arguing about? A casual fart from those soul formation monks is far more valuable than the accumulation of their sect over thousands of years. Yang Juzi subconsciously grasped the world-class communication symbol in his arms, and felt it getting heavier and hotter. He understands. This thing may very well become the heirloom of their Ninyang sect in the future. At the same time, Qingyan Islands. Shi Yiming, the son of the Shi family, came to the Langya branch with a huge sum of money in his pocket, a determined look and high morale. Make way, make way. The followers he brought with him parted the noisy crowd and helped him open a passage. Mr. Shi, what are you doing? Shopkeeper Mu of semicolon narrowed his eyes slightly, not quite understanding the other party's intentions. Don't get me wrong, shopkeeper. I'm not here to cause trouble. I came here today just to say one thing. Shi Yiming waved his hand, slowly took out a few storage bags, and placed them neatly on the table. Then he looked at everyone, waved his hand, and said proudly, "Today, all the consumption of everyone present at the Langya branch will be paid by me." As soon as these words came out, there was an uproar in the crowd. Is there such a good thing? For a moment, all the monks howled, "Master Shi is so magnanimous," and rushed into the Langya branch and began to sweep. Shi Yiming enjoyed the flattery of thousands of practitioners, his eyes narrowed, his hands on his hips, he just felt that his life was perfect, and he didn't know what an opponent was. Shopkeeper Mu approached with a half-smile on his face and said, "Mr. Shi is really generous. I admire you." Shi Yiming waved his hands and said nonchalantly, "It's just a small amount of money. I, Shi, have no other merits, but I just can't stand the suffering in the world and want to make more contributions to charity." Shopkeeper Mu smiled even more and nodded in agreement. These days, there are really not many people with ambitions like Mr. Shi. Shi Yiming straightened his chest and stood up straight. "This is just the beginning. I want to be number 1 on the Qingyan Islands merit list." Hearing this, Shopkeeper Mu looked strange. "Merit list?" "Yes," Shi Yiming said confidently. "I remember that last time Lu Ruoan spent more than 2 million spirit stones and topped the merit list. Today I brought 5 million spirit stones." "Shopkeeper Mu, what's with that expression on your face? Don't believe it. If you don't believe it, just click it." Quote. No. Shopkeeper Mu waved his hands repeatedly, and said awkwardly, "It's just that the latest merit list is a little different from the previous ones. How about you take another look?" "What's the difference?" Shi Yiming frowned, but still looked at the merit list at the door, and then his eyes widened instantly. "Just see it on the list. The first place has already changed hands." Instead, there was a name that he didn't recognize at all. First armor, Zhu Xian, merits of 400,000. Second place, Lin Yu, merits of 399,000. Top 3, Yu Tian. The merits are 398,000. A moment, Shi Yiming just felt dizzy and dazed. It was as if the sky had fallen. Chapter 79 Langya Mall is coming soon. Shi Yiming staggered, his face turned pale, and he took several steps back. Thanks to Shopkeeper Mu's help, he didn't fall to the ground. "Mr. Shi, are you okay?" "No, who the hell are these people? Where did they come from?" Shi Yiming pointed at the series of unfamiliar names on the list and almost roared. "Hey, Master Shi, be careful with your words." Shopkeeper Mu made a gesture to keep quiet. "These people are not simple." Shi Yiming was like a shrew, cursing, "Bullshit, it's not simple. Could it be someone from the Soul Formation sect?" Shopkeeper Mu nodded. "Yeah. Shi Yiming. Impossible." Shi Yiming shook his head. "I didn't say they were the power of the Qingyan Islands." Shopkeeper Mu shrugged. Quote. Shi Yiming racked his brains but couldn't figure out why Soul Formation level forces from other regions suddenly appeared on the Qingyan Islands merit list. Hundreds of thousands of merit points. That's tens of millions of spirit stones. Could it be that there is something in the Langya semicolon here that is not available anywhere else? But the only thing he knew was, "It's your turn. It's all over." Before leaving, he repeatedly promised the head of the family that this matter would not fail and he would definitely bring back the top spot on the merit list. But now, if I throw all the 5 million in, I won't even be able to top the list. It's so hard to even make the list. No, the money must be taken back. Shi Yiming was like a madman. If he took the money back, the punishment he would receive might not be so severe. If the money is gone, it will be a complete mess. Think of this. He rushed towards the storage bags on the table. However, a huge force suddenly grabbed the back of his collar and held him firmly in place. Shopkeeper Mu looked at him with a dangerous look. "Master Shi, are you trying to rob?" Shi Yiming swallowed his saliva and his face turned pale. He obviously didn't expect that this shopkeeper, who was usually polite and friendly even to the young monk Qi refining, would. He is actually a monk in the Gold Court period. He shook his head and said in a trembling voice, "I regret it and don't want to treat you anymore, okay? I want to get the money back." Shopkeeper Mu laughed twice. "According to the rules of our store, once the payment is made, no refunds or exchanges will be accepted unless there is a quality issue." And, Shopkeeper Mu pursed his lips and motioned him to look at the many shelves in the semicolon that were more than half empty. Master Shi, do you think it's too late to regret now? Shi Yiming gritted his teeth and said, what about the rest? The money that hasn't been spent yet. I can take it back, right? This time, shopkeeper Mu did not make things difficult for him. Let the guy count it clearly. The remaining spirit stones were returned to Shi Yiming. There is less than 1/3 left. At the same time, the remaining customers in the store, upon hearing that Shi Yiming regretted his decision, immediately started cursing. FK, you peed and then held it back. If you can't afford it, don't invite it. Why are you pretending to be rich? Bah, how shameful. Quote. Listening to those harsh sounds, Shi Yiming felt like crying but had no tears. He spent his money, bought nothing, and got himself into trouble. Once he returns to the tribe, he will surely be punished. At this moment, he regretted it so much. I regret it so much. I was wrong, I was really wrong. I shouldn't have thought of investing in Penglai Yunlai Foundation to get a bargain from the beginning. If I hadn't invested in Penglai Yunlai Foundation, I would have had the money to compete with Lu Ruoan for the top spot on the Langya merit list. If I get the top spot on the Langya merit ranking, that universe-level communication talisman will be mine. If the universe-level communication talisman was mine, I wouldn't have fallen to this point today. One wrong step, all wrong. Damn Penglai Yunlai Foundation. Young master, this is the latest situation on the merit lists of various places. In the Foundation headquarters, Wang Xiu, who had just returned yesterday, was lying on an exquisite red lacquered carved spiritual wood chair. The maid Zixia was kneeling in front of him, gently massaging his legs. The slim-fitting dress outlines the beautiful figure with perfect curves and curves. Wang Xiu took the latest report from Niting Ting, glanced at it, nodded with satisfaction and said, well done. After a pause, he continued, by the way, I asked you to recruit some practitioners who are familiar with the sea charts and the environment along the North Sea coast. How are you doing? Niting Ting nodded, the notice has been sent out. When the practitioners saw that it was a recruitment notice from our Langya Chamber of Commerce, many people responded. We are still in the process of screening. Be careful when selecting people, and try to eliminate those with bad intentions. I will have great use for these people in the future. After the first round of screening, show me the list. Niting Ting said, yes, young master. At this time, Li Yuan was suddenly appeared and said respectfully, young master, there is someone outside the door who wants to see you. Wang Xiu raised his eyebrows. Who? Claiming to be a disciple of Biming Sacred Land, Sha Yaoyao. Oh, please. After a moment, Sha Yaoyao was brought in. This was the first time Wang Xiu saw her dressed properly. She was wearing a purple long skirt, with her long hair like a waterfall tied up behind her head, and her snow-white slender legs were faintly visible between the skirts of her clothes. The lavender chiffon tube top cannot hide her surging breasts, making her look even more charming. Of course, the most eye-catching thing is her accessories. She wore a necklace inlaid with red crystals around her neck, hanging on her plump and fair chest. There were several silver bracelets, bangles and bells on her wrists. Her waist was slender and could be held in one hand, tied with a jade white belt with a bell tied on it. It contrasted with her fair skin and seemed to be glowing, which was very beautiful. The bells jingle as you walk. The noise can be heard from far away. You don't need to look closely to know that they are extremely high-quality law treasures, which are rare in the sacred land. The disciples of the weapon refining pavilion may not be able to pay much for the spirit stone. But baby, who doesn't have 10 or 8 things on their body? Here are the special, limited edition communication charms you requested. I'm sending them to you. Sha Yaoyao was in a hurry and directly handed over a brocade box. When I opened it, I saw 5 communication symbols with special styles, which were completely different from those on the market. Wang Xiu took a quick look and was very satisfied, so he closed the box. Senior Sister Sha, please take a seat. You've come just in time. I have something to discuss with you. Sha Yaoyao was puzzled. What's the matter? Wang Xiu said, I want to update a software in all the communication symbols. Software. Hearing this unfamiliar term, Sha Yaoyao frowned and asked, what is that? Wang Xiu pondered for a moment and organized his words. It is a kind of integration of data and functions. Remember the communication interface I asked you to make before. Now I need to fit more content in there. Sha Yaoyao tried to understand. Similar to a formation. Wang Xiu nodded. The formation is the core mechanism of its internal operation, but on the surface, it needs a simpler, more direct and convenient operation interface. Sha Yaoyao understood a little. What is the name of this formation, or software? Wang Yu thought for a moment and said, Lang Yamal. Chapter 80 Tianhuang Dragon Transformation Hand. Lang Yamal. Yes, the entire software is roughly divided into 3 modules. First, the shopping module. All the daily cultivation supplies or commonly used entertainment supplies are listed in this software, so that customers holding the Langya communication talisman can open the software and make purchases. Second, the merchant module. All merchants can use this function to put their signature products on the shelves. Third, the delivery module. Once the customer has made their purchase and the merchant has prepared the goods, someone will pick them up and deliver them to the customer's address, completing the door-to-door delivery service. After listening to Wang Emu's explanation, Sha Yaoyao hesitated for a moment and said, is it similar to a foot shop? Wang Yu was slightly stunned, then nodded and said, that's right. Takeout does exist these days, but it basically only exists in some large restaurants and hotels. If the guests did not want to go out for dinner, they would send servants and boys to the store to place their orders and specify the delivery time. The store will arrange for someone to deliver it to your door. But foot shops have too many limitations, complicated regulations, small service areas and short distances. What I want to do is at least build a large online shopping platform that can be spread all over the North Sea. It can even be bigger than this and cover other areas in the North Territory. Hearing this, Sha Yaoyao and Ni Tingting's beautiful eyes lit up. Especially Ni Tingting. She was intelligent and had been exposed to the business world since childhood, so she quickly guessed Wang Emu's intentions. Just imagine this. In the future, a monk who is practicing on an isolated island suddenly lacks a certain kind of elixir, but does not want to interrupt his practice to buy it. You can just take out the communication token, place an order on it, and then someone will deliver it to you from afar. How convenient is this? It is no exaggeration to say that this is epic making. Once customers have experienced such convenient service, it will be difficult for them to go back to the old days when they had to go to the store to buy things. If the young master's plan really succeeds, who among all the chambers of commerce in the world can be a rival to the Langya Chamber of Commerce? However, the prospects are good. In actual operation, it should be quite difficult. The human and material resources are astronomical figures. And the communication charms have already been sold. Even if such a function is really developed, how can we guarantee that the customers who have already bought the communication charms will have the same experience? Ni Tingting was puzzled. Don't worry about that. Sha Yaoyao pursed her lips, her eyes a little excited. When young Master Wang asked me to customize the communication symbols, he specifically asked me to leave a mark on each communication symbol. These marks store the information of each communication symbol and are connected to the Tianxin stone, which is the core. I was wondering why it was so troublesome to make a communication symbol. It turns out you did it for this step. As long as we use the Tianxin stone as a medium and engrave the array formation on it, all the communication symbols will change at the same time. Wang Yu nodded and agreed. That's the truth. Great. This is a brand new idea, a concept that has never been thought of before. Sha Yaoyao's breathing became rapid, her chest rising and falling violently, and she couldn't wait to get up and go out. Wait for my news. Ni Tingting looked at the figure leaving in a hurry, puzzled. Miss Sha, what happened? Wang Yu smiled and said, maybe I have seen a brand new path. The system design of Lang Yamal alone is not enough to make Sha Yaoyao so excited. What really made her unable to control herself? It was only later that I realized Wang Emu's conception and use of the Tianxin stone, which is the server. This is the foundation of the information network. It is also the core of Wang Emu's subsequent business layout. He has too many ideas, all of which must be based on the premise that the information network is mature. This is his biggest advantage over the world's traditional business model, enough to form a dimensionality reduction attack. In this system, this is something that practitioners like Sha Yaoyao, who have received traditional immortal cultivation world artifact refining education since childhood, have never come into contact with. It was like a brand new door had opened. Even if there is only a gap. Even if we only see a small part of the world, we can still see the great thousand worlds. In fact, Wang Yu himself has only an average understanding of information technology. But it doesn't matter. After all, this is the immortal cultivation world, and we don't necessarily have to copy the old ways. As long as the effect Wang Yu wants can be achieved in the end. Any way is fine. Moreover, having said that, with the comprehension of these prodigies in the cultivation world, they can comprehend even something as complex as the Great Tao, let alone other things. What's more, the immortal cultivation world is actually far superior to the mortal society in the previous life in terms of productivity and technological level. It's just that they have never thought about it in those terms. Now Wang Xiu only needs to give a general direction and let them do their best. It's getting dark. A cool breeze blows on your face. The garden is filled with fallen leaves, blowing in the wind, interlacing golden and red in the setting sun, creating a spectacular sight. Wang Xiu looked at this scene and suddenly had an idea. He appeared in the center of the courtyard and got ready. Ouch! A dragon roar was heard. Wang Xiu's whole body was shining with spiritual light. As his body moved, a huge dragon shadow followed his body, with great momentum, like the opening heaven. A layer of dragon scale armor covered his body. The fists are attached with shadows of dragon claws. Every move he made was like that of a real dragon. The heaven and earth trembled as he roared, as if he could shatter the void. Dragon Transformation Technique. This is the ancient divine ability that Lin Yan obtained from an ancient dragon race ruin. It can strengthen the body and bring close combat techniques to the extreme. When it reaches the peak, it will be invincible and have almost no rivals. Lin Yan originally planned to use a drop of Flood Dragon's blood essence to enable himself to gain entry into the art. But Wang Xiu asked Li Yuanwu to send him 2 pure blood dragon balls. In an instant, he became even more powerful when practicing this technique, and his power increased several times. And at this moment, Wang Xiu was not satisfied with just using this divine ability. As his eyes opened and closed, the left eye shines blue, the right eye shines golden, dazzling and bright. 2 huge spiritual bodies appeared behind him. On the left is the vast blue dragon, and on the right is the winged roc. Both are famous mythical beasts in recent ancient times. At this moment, all the power is concentrated in one person. The left hand is the Sky Dragon transformation, and the right hand is the Sky Pung fighting dragon. Both divine abilities were supreme divine abilities for close combat. At this moment, when Wang Xiu used them simultaneously, there was no sense of incongruity at all. Instead, they blended perfectly as if they had become one. This is Wang Xiu's enlightened and immortal mind at work. The intention is to combine the 2 divine abilities into one, forming a more terrifying fighting technique. In the courtyard, the sounds of dragon roars and rock cries echoed endlessly. It was like ancient mythical beasts fighting each other, and the noise was enough to break one's heart. After a long time, he slowly stopped and said with some emotion, "Both divine abilities are extraordinary in grade. Fortunately, my enlightenment heart is strong enough, otherwise, there is no chance of a successful fusion." The fused divine ability was named Tianhuang Dragon Transformation Hand by Wang Xiu. The bonus to combat power far exceeds any previous one. With my current combat power, even an ordinary nascent soul monk is no match for me. The unprecedented 12th grade gold core, coupled with the incomparable rich foundation, is enough to make Wang Xiu stand out from his peers. Even though he only has gold core now. However, its combat power has already exceeded the limit of gold core realm. Thank you for watching. Continue exploring the fascinating world of Chinese novels with us. Hit that subscribe button on Chinese Novel Audiobook to stay updated with our latest stories. And never miss out on a great listen.